I want to go over a recent debate that Def Noodles had with Papa Gut of all people. Apparently, they had a debate and it didn't go very well for Def Noodles. Apparently, it went so poorly that he issued an apology on his channel today, which is surprising. I don't know why I didn't get that treatment. You know, I don't know why when we debated, he never bowed down completely to me like he should have. But okay, all right, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I want to point out, first of all, this tweet by Cat 10 Barge here, which apparently is being echoed by a lot of like the general like YouTube community and shit like that. Yeah. So she says, Def Noodles is one of the most interesting and confounding characters in the YouTube drama community. Huge news platform, huge influence over creators' reputations, but says it's all jokes and satire whenever he gets into an argument. Def Noodles single-handedly drove the James Charles sexting scandal by being the only news source to publish all the different TikTok accusations before they were taken down. So whether he likes it or not, he was a primary news publisher in that case, as well as many others. By the way, one of those stories, at least one of them, if not more, but one of them I know for a fact he published was verifiably false. That's why we jumped on his ass for a while. Because he published this one kid who was just clout chasing and making shit up, and he didn't even like bother to like check into the details. So if he's this guy who is like the arbiter of YouTube news, then holy fuck, he's got a lot in his history to clean up there. And then I tweeted, I said, how come nobody said this when I debated him over a year ago? But whatever, I'm glad everyone realizes he's an asshole now. I can't wait to watch this debate, which is exactly what we're going to be doing. I think it's on Papa Gut's channel right now. So, they said he went even easier on Def than I did. And if I had one criticism for myself, during that debate, it would be that I went too easy on him, that I let him go on longer than he should have. So this might be a little bit painful to get into, but we'll see how it goes. Chatting with Def Noodles, it gets heated. Bubba, do you have anything you want to say, or are you just kind of chilling?
No, I'm just excited to listen to this. I haven't listened to it yet.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oops. Sorry, playing. Yeah, I'm excited to hear this too. Are you, you're listening to this? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's play this.
Hey, goody, how you doing?
Not bad.
Nice t-shirt.
If this gets slow, I might 2x speed it. I'll just go at normal speed for now until I bump it up.
All right.
Thank you. My wife made it for me. I don't know how this really works. Hold on. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. All right. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. I'm trying to arrange it on my side too. It's like weird. It's this weird layout here.
I'm surprised you use Zoom, bro. Like I figured like Discord or something easier, but
no, it's like it's weird. I just
I
feel
have to
like
use Zoom when I talk to him. I forget actually how I talk to him. I think it was on Google Hangout.
I feel like this is actually pretty easy, but I don't know. I'm to be honest with you, I don't use Discord like ever. So
that's fair. Yeah.
Huh?
I said that's fair. I get that.
Yeah.
So
what's up? I know you posted another video. I'm gonna be completely honest. I saw your response to my response. I watched all of it. I didn't get to watch the video that you posted this morning. I was on set.
Wait, what is their beef about? What is their drama? I don't even know what it's about. What are they arguing over?
I don't know either.
Maybe I should have looked into that. I don't know. I literally have not heard anything about this.
Like until like maybe 10 minutes ago, and I just I have to go back in a little bit, but I wanted to see what's going on because I'm just getting flooded with comments like nonstop. So people like I probably got over like 300 comments in the last like 20 minutes. Just calling me an absolute piece of shit.
Yeah, so
I understand what's going on.
Listen, man. So you know, all right. So I know that the chain of this whole thing started with you made your video. I contested it. You fired back. I would say yours was like pretty intense and probably like bordering disrespect. Really not bordering. I responded, and I feel like I was pretty cordial.
Take a moment right now. I apologize for interrupting. So I do want to apologize for the language that I used.
It's okay. Listen, man. Everybody gets heated.
Yeah.
You know,
I had actually shot a segment that I was going to put in my video yesterday. Where I basically apologized for calling you a moron, calling you a dumb fuck. Look, it doesn't justify me using that language. I do.
Wait, so he apologized for calling this guy a moron, but wouldn't apologize for calling me a fascist? Hello? All right, dude.
I do use it a little bit for the humor of it, but I understand how it can be, how somebody who's on the other end of it can feel offended.
Sure,
by
yeah.
that. So I just want to apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, I think that the community post also came off as kind of condescending because even if we disagree in some areas, it feels like I did at least my best. Did you watch my response to your response?
Yes, I watched a full hour and a half. Yeah. So
good luck. Good for you. I mean, that's a long.
I have 2 points here that I want to ask you about. But,
so not only does this guy Papa Gut get an apology right off the bat from Def Noodles, He immediately gets a conversation with them, and the guy even watched an hour and a half of fucking content before he entered the debate. Why does Papa Gut get so much good faith and so much like charitability here? But for me, it was just fuck that guy. I don't understand this.
I have no idea.
Has he changed for the better? Obviously not. I don't know.
I feel like at the very beginning,
or he's just lying. I don't know. Either way, though.
Kind of acknowledged, the part where you basically glossed over all my work and just said that I'm reactionary to Keemstar. Like you acknowledged that, a few different things at the beginning. Throughout as well, I feel like we aligned on a lot of different things. I do feel like some of the greater points that I brought up, you did kind of just pass off as bad faith comments.
Sure.
And then,
like what? I'm just curious.
I mean, it's like an hour and a half long. I really don't have it off the top. I think, I'd have to go through it. But we can take it point by point and just discuss it right now.
Sure, that sounds good.
That's why I expressed what I expressed there, because I just thought that, that's why I expressed what I expressed in my community post, because I thought
it's because he doesn't spurg on Twitter. I'm sorry that me just being generally like aggressive is just spurging. I don't know. I can never win on the internet. If I'm a nice guy, then I'm just a pussy, and if I'm an asshole, then I'm a spurg. So there's just no way I can ever conduct myself where anybody will ever say that I'm not just being unreasonable by default. I'm just fucked. So I might as well just keep being an asshole, because there's no reason to be actually like trying to like be charitable to people, because it just doesn't matter.
I thought there was a lot of, just deflecting about, just saying, oh, that's in bad faith. That's in bad faith. And at the end of the day, like, dude, I just feel like saying that someone is bad faith without ever explaining like why you think they're being bad faith.
Sure.
It doesn't really, it's just, I felt like it would have been, if you had actually explained why you thought I was being bad faith in the moments where you said I was being bad faith, then.
Wait, hold on. Donation. You didn't get good faith or charity because Def's audience doesn't like you, but they like Papa Gut. Def reported on the B family and they lied. Papa reviewed Def's video and criticized him. Papa shares an audience with Def and is SJW. So they're similar, I guess, in the political spectrum. Maybe that's why, I guess, I don't know.
I feel like it would have at least helped me understand a little more where you were coming from.
Yeah, sure. I could explain it. So, okay. So when I originally watched, because I do full video commentary, very long-winded. I understand why people wouldn't watch the full thing. But I watched the B family's first video, and then I watched their second video, and I watch it live, and then I'll do commentary on it. Through the progression of the video, the way that I operate is like, especially from the first one, we start with all the information laid out. Killick was sexually harassing this girl, basically, like completely, like it's inexcusable behavior. Frankly,
I agree on that the sexual harassment is just absolutely inappropriate.
It's a problem, and the biggest part of it is really the atmosphere surrounding the problem, because it's very normal for this kind of behavior to happen online.
And that being said, that we agree on that point. I also want to. This is something I hinted on I guess it wasn't clear enough. So I guess hinting is a word, but I did mention it in passing in my community post. That I do not agree with the way the family characterized Killick. I do not agree at all.
Well, that's something.
Pause this shit. I need context for everything. Who is the EB family? Where do I? Can somebody link me an article? I don't know anything they're talking about, and I need to fix that really quick. Oh, I think I did hear about this. Wait a minute. Never mind. I might actually know more about this. A teen streamer is facing backlash from the family of a 15-year-old influencer who say he sexualized her amid a gaming feud with her brother. YouTube stars The B family criticized a small gaming streamer known as Killick for making inappropriate sexual comments about their 15-year-old daughter. The B family, formerly known as EB family, has been active on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Killick is a gaming live streamer. He has 34,000 subs on YouTube. The video featured Killick's lewd comments, and it got removed, but the B family inserted clips in their video posted, "Dear Killick, she's only 15. Yeah, but Killick himself, he's like, how old is this kid? Because I'm pretty sure he's only 17. It shows Killick looking up Gabriella's Instagram account, making sexual comments about her, including referring to her getting gangbanged while addressing her brother Roberto, a 16-year-old gamer known as Mr. B, whom he was in a feud with. It's so disgusting, it's so degrading, it's so filthy. And imagine, he is directing this at our son about his sister. So imagine being a 16-year-old boy and you were hearing this spoken about your sister, said Gabriella's mother in the video. She said she had contacted YouTube to ask Killick's channel to be disabled, adding that, oh, these families are cunts, I'm sorry. Again, the kid's like 17. If he was like a fucking pedo, obviously it'd be different. But like this kid, am I wrong about that? Is he not 17? Well, it literally says in like the bullet points, it's only mentioned in the bullet points, not anywhere else. 17-year-old Killick apologized and comments were made after her brother harassed him. But it never mentions anywhere else in the article. Whatever. I think it's pretty clear he's 17. Okay. Okay, so what I'm gathering is Killick kid who's 17 is a cunt. All right, but so is this family. This is a shit show. He's not a fucking pedo. I don't really give a shit if a 17-year-old is making fucking jokes about a 15-year-old or something. I think both of them should probably not be on the internet for their own sake, considering they're both minors, but whatever. That's not how the world works. Obviously, minors gonna be on YouTube and they're gonna talk shit. I mean, am I wrong about any of these takes?
It's based on the limited knowledge I know.
So did Def run a story saying this kid is like an asshole, and then Papa Guts pro the kid? So that's what they're arguing about. Okay. Okay. I think I see where this debate is gonna go now. Okay, so I think I have enough context to work off of this now. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had to do some live research there to figure out what they're talking about, but I think I kind of get where this debate is gonna go now. So let's just hear them go at it. I think I have enough to work off of now.
That you didn't express in like your original video, which was that was probably the biggest problematic aspect for me. You know,
100%.
Yeah.
Right, let me back that up.
Online.
And that being said, that we agree on that point. I also want to. This is something I hinted on my. I guess it wasn't clear enough. So I guess hinting is a word, but I did mention it in passing in my community post. That I do not agree with the way the family characterized Killick. I do not agree at all.
Well, that's something that you didn't express in like your original video, which was that was probably the biggest problematic aspect for me. You know?
100%.
Yeah.
I find it to be problematic, and the reason why I didn't address it in the
So Def's getting called out for his shitty journalism.
Original video is I was doing a recap, and honestly, I used to do deep dive commentaries. You can go back maybe 2-3 years ago. I used to do like deep dive commentary, when Tati Westbrook published that video, accusing
Def Noodles did deep dive commentary. Bullshit.
Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star of conspiring against James Charles. I did it was maybe 30-40 minutes, and I got her old video, and I did a compare and contrast, and I used to do. Now I'm doing mostly recaps, and
yeah, I get that. And a lot of it's lost in translation.
That is my fault that I didn't include, that I didn't rebut that. I should have rebutted it really, and I should have really made a bigger point out of calling that out, because I do find it to be extremely problematic that they characterized this. First off, they got his age wrong. He's 17.
Well, so
yeah. Connor was telling me about this story, right? So apparently the B family and their initial call out, they called the kid 19 and said he made sexual comments about their 15-year-old daughter. He's 17. Oops.
So the biggest problem with getting the age wrong is more that I don't know where they got 19 from. His Twitter said 16, and his Instagram said 17, and I think it's it's a big deal to me.
Where they got?
Yeah, they're cunts. So right off the bat, even Def's taking an L right at the start. How does this become a 2-hour-long debate? He's already fucked.
Age. We can spend all day here speculating why they got the age wrong, how they got it. We will never know.
Sure.
It'll still be speculation unless they make a video and say, or there's actual evidence of them showing us exactly what happened and how they arrived at that age. We will never know.
Right. So the one, and I know that's true. For me, when it comes to it, is that after they had admitted in the details description that he's 17, in their follow-up video, they continue to refer to him as a grown man. So to me, it comes off as very, very intentional.
Oh my god, this family fucking sucks.
Agree on that.
Yeah,
that is extremely fucked up. And honestly, I think that weaponizing sexual assault, weaponizing pedophilia, weaponizing any form of abuse is extremely fucked up.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, it's also something that has happened to you, which is one of the things that kind of felt like cognitive dissonance to me.
Well, that's fine. That's an entirely different conversation, and I appreciate you bringing that up. But this is what I when I was covering the main video, I was too laser focused when I did my initial coverage of this in my first video.
Yeah, and if they make a video calling out this kid and call him an adult or something without ever mentioning his actual age, that's called lying by omission.
Yeah.
Just because they don't actually say what his age is, they're giving the implication that he's an adult, therefore he is either a grown-ass man or at least over 18 or over, you know what I mean? And he's not. Especially when before they called him explicitly 19, and they got that wrong. So, yeah, this family, whoever's calling him that, whether it's the mom or the dad, they're a cunt for that.
We're focused on one part of the conversation. And honestly, you're right. I should have addressed that part as well. That is entirely my fault.
You don't have to beat yourself up.
When I do my recaps, because there's a different format. I mean, if you watch my videos, you'll see that it's lightning fast recap. I'm doing one-liners. Sometimes I'll go into something a little more that I'll give my opinion.
He's too busy maintaining his journalistic integrity. He's too busy coming up with snappy one-liners. Because, he's a comedian, right? It's all jokes, right?
I mean,
time of
the world to perfect his video. Well, I mean, I guess he's a news channel, so he doesn't have all the time in the world. But I mean, it's a recorded, edited video. It's not like you can't do both.
Well, see, here's the deal, right? It's the argument that Papa Gut I feel is going to be facing in this is the same argument that I faced when I debated Def Noodles, right? He doesn't fucking know why his excuse that, some of the shit that I say is jokes and some of it's news, he doesn't realize why that's a fucking not a good, answer, right? Because he's conflating news with comedy, which you can do, although you find yourself getting into the problems where it's well, is what you're saying a massive meme or a joke, or is it real, right? So now he doesn't have the character excuse anymore. He can't pretend I'm just some cat in a Minecraft house. It doesn't matter what I say. No, now he's Dennis. All right. So now by his logic, he has to take accountability for the shit that he gets wrong and the shit that he says. By the way, there's no shame if you get something wrong and you realize that after the fact when somebody points it out and you acknowledge you got that wrong, which it seems to be what Dev is doing a little bit at the start here. Like, there's no shame in that, right? Like, everybody gets something wrong every now and again. There's no shame in acknowledging that. Like, obviously, we're human beings. We're gonna get shit wrong. There's gonna be people that point it out, right? So there's no shame in it, but like, that's why I'm confused. Like, he's already conceded so much. How the fuck does this translate to a 2-hour-long debate? Apparently, they start screaming at each other and shit like that. I don't know. But I'll keep going here.
Dive into it if I feel like really invested in the topic. But at the end of the day, it's like the format itself that I created, it kind of hinders me to an extent. And honestly, I feel like this has been good because it makes me want to, perhaps add more aspects of deep dive commentary in what I do so that I can rebut more of these greater points. But at the end of the day, I was too laser focused on one aspect of the situation and I neglected the other one, and that is entirely my fault, and I apologize for that.
Okay.
And
I wanted to
at the beginning of my next video, I will make a mention of it so that I can set the record straight. And make sure that we, there are two sides to every story.
Yeah, sure.
And I try my best to capture both sides. I really do. So I'm not saying I'm perfect. I do have those shortcomings and I will fail. And honestly, I appreciate the people who try to hold me accountable and call these things out. And the only thing I can do right now is really do this. I'll go in.
Oh, really? Because on the same video that you apologize, you platform technicals. Good one. You love when people hold you under accountability, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Start this at the beginning of the next video. And
sure, yeah. And I would say you don't have to beat yourself up over it. I mean, like, listen, I've been there too. I've made plenty of mistakes. I talk about it a lot. I really just quickly wanted to explain like why I felt it was bad faith. Nothing like super complex. But like I was saying before, I had like a very detailed take about like the way that they represent the situation, et cetera, et cetera. And you didn't mention that. And so to me, it comes off like, you focus. I understand why you'd focus on like the girl crying because it makes a lot of sense, right? Like it's very emotionally evoking. At the end of the day, regardless of, I don't believe it's traumatic, but it's still something that probably upset her. And so I
honestly, that's one thing that, I mean, I'm not a 15-year-old girl. You're not a 15-year-old girl. Yeah. We're not in your head. We don't know.
I would say from a trauma perspective, like I would say like, okay, absolutely probably upset, but trauma is like a very deep-seated thing. And I think that
so I can
understand why you wouldn't want to say yes or no, but like I just wanted to get that out there that I don't believe it.
Yeah, Papa Gut's right on this one. I mean, the kid's saying all that thing about a 15-year-old girl. He is a cunt for that too, by the way. All right. Traumatic, causing it. No, I don't. Yeah, I agree with Gut here. He's 100% correct.
That this would create a traumatic experience. Like I don't.
Well, I have to disagree with you on that.
Okay.
Honestly,
why do you say that?
Well, honestly, and I'm going to pose a question. How many times have you like cried on camera?
A couple times, I guess, like 2 or 3 times.
Okay, and let's say how many hours have you streamed in your entire career so far?
Probably, I don't know, not that. I mean, I guess I've only been streaming for like a year, but a pretty good amount, sure.
Well, thousands of hours, probably.
Sure.
So out of those thousands of hours, there are 2
I don't think I've ever cried on camera.
2 or 3 times where you cried. And what I mean, I don't want to make you rehash this, but I assume that those 2 or 3 times where you cried.
Yeah, it was. I cried because I had to recant the experience of my wife telling me that she was violently raped, and I think that it's very bizarre for us to say like, that's a trauma response. People have traumas. Like I was talking about one of the traumas that I had. Somebody broke into my house and it's something that upset me, and like it carries over where like I compulsively walk outside and check the doors. Well, I don't think that being called names on the internet would be traumatic. It could be upsetting, but traumatic. It just feels like we're still over exaggerating trauma and like
I understand what you're saying. The thing is that there's some weight, right? My point with what I was getting at was the reason why you cried those 3 times on stream. There's some weight behind what you were doing, right?
Yeah.
The level of importance, you were emotionally invested. There was something that it was really important to you, and you felt that emotion. That's why it came out genuine, right?
Yeah.
I don't know her enough. I'm assuming, but I don't think you know her enough to jump to the conclusion that she would go on a video and fake cry. I've been doing this long enough where if somebody is faking it, eventually evidence comes out. And if somebody
so the daughter went on camera and fake cried. That just sounds like the family's manipulating her. They're forcing her. Well, not okay. I shouldn't say forcing, but like they want her to cry on camera because they know the reaction that it will elicit. All right. If you're a family, first of all, family channels are fucking cancer. Okay. I feel like I've defended family channels in the past, but I don't know, dude. There's appropriate ways to respond to when like people are harassing your daughter online. Let's call this harassment. I don't know if I agree that it's harassment. For the sake of argument, let's just call it harassment. Let's just say that it is. All right. There's ways that you as a parent respond to this, and filming your daughter crying on camera and then uploading that, it's like a really bad way to respond to that situation. Holy shit. In fact, I would go as far to say that that's highly irresponsible. You're gonna record your daughter at her lowest like moment. She feels like shit. She's crying on camera, and I believe it's probably genuine. despite not having seen the video myself, whatever. It makes sense that a 15-year-old girl would cry if somebody calls them mean names on the internet. It seems like a reasonable reaction from somebody like that, right? So I'm not even saying that it's fake, but like, I'm just saying like from the parents' perspective, that's like insane. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Yeah, documenting like one of your child's lowest points on the internet for everyone to see.
Because now she's gonna grow up and people are gonna remind her of this moment, something that obviously upsets her, maybe not gives her trauma, but certainly something that, you know, upsets her. And now for the rest of her life, she's gonna have this highly publicized recording of her crying when she was 15, when somebody said gross shit about her. That'll always exist now, thanks to the parents. That's insane.
Then we just have to, or if it appears that they're faking it, at the end of the day, I would much rather give someone the benefit of the doubt than to just fall into cynicism, because it's just a really slippery slope, because everybody in that case, and everybody on social media is faking everything, right? You could just easily go, oh, they're faking this because they want this, or they're faking that because they want that. And at the end of the day,
well, I'm not in that, because it's a disproportionate response. But I do want to say one thing for context. And like, you can believe that the crying is real. It doesn't necessarily make it a trauma response. But also, like, there's literally, if you watch, she's crying, which seems like fake crying, and then they cut the camera and cut it back on, and she has tears in her eyes. It seems weird for them to cut in that way. It does add to the speculation. And again,
let's see the video. I mean, I don't really care if it's fake or not, to be honest. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever fucking find this, because nobody's linking it to me, so whatever.
Again, a very disproportionate response to the situation. And it seems like
I don't find it unusual for a 15-year-old girl to cry.
That's fine, but to have a trauma response. There's a difference between getting upset and then like saying that this is a trauma response that's going to call it like PTSD.
This is where we're going to, I guess, end up disagreeing on, because I don't find it to be my role, as I have lots of opinions, trust me, and I have lots of jokes and all this shit, but I don't find it to be my role, at least at this moment in juncture in my career, at this moment, I don't find it to be my role to define whether she specifically is having a traumatic experience or not. Now, I don't know. I've done hundreds of videos. I don't remember if I've ever done that in the past. If I've done it, then
$4.99. The parents shouldn't use their kids for content if they're so concerned about how they're treated online.
Yeah, that's 100% true, but they're a family channel, so they have to. So now they're stuck in this situation where their kids will always be put in uncomfortable situations that are then broadcasted to millions of people that will always live with them and potentially haunt them for the rest of their lives. Like, I was always iffy on family channels, but I was like, well, look, it's a family showcasing positive moments of their life. It's kind of wholesome, kind of cool. I mean, I did videos with my dad back in the day that I still enjoy doing, but like, I don't know, on this scale, it's just so cancer. And then you get into situations like these. If they handle these situations appropriately, that'd be one thing, but they're obviously not. So it's like, holy shit. I don't know.
I learned from my mistakes, just like in this situation. But I honestly, I'm in a position right now, currently, where this is what I feel. And honestly, I don't want to speak for someone else's trauma. And honestly, it even makes me a little uncomfortable having to rehash this 15-year-old girl's trauma and like speculate on top of it, because it's her story to tell. Do you understand? Like,
well, I will say that it's interesting that we're focusing so much on her crying, but not so much on the other aspect where we have like something that's been a very historical problem of maturing young black kids and then overprescribing punishment. And it's weird that that's still.
What? Why are we talking about race now?
Like this white girl. Well, hold on. This white girl crying is still overtaking this like very real historical issue, and that's the biggest. That's like the primary point. You know.
That's totally fine. I mean, the conversation is veering in this direction. If you want to move it somewhere else, just move it. Let's have this conversation.
Oh yeah, no. Well, so that's like one of the biggest issues. So like watching through the video, there's a big problem with them intentionally getting the age wrong and then overprescribing punishment. Like I don't know if you watch their videos, but their punishment was that they think that he should get banned from YouTube. They're going to follow him.
I said it in my video. I said that it's never going to happen because especially what she says.
Well, that's never going to happen is different from. Do you think it should happen? Did you think he should get banned?
Look, I'm against deplatforming. I've been deplatformed myself on Twitter. I don't think anybody should ever lose their platform for any fucking reason. But at the end of the day,
wow, free speech, Def Noodles here. That's interesting.
We're not at the mercy of my opinion or your opinion or what anybody else believes. We're at the mercy of these platforms. So there's a reality of what we want things to be, and there's a reality of how things actually are. Well, sure. So how things actually are is that, honestly, if they look, I'm just going to speak very candidly right now. If they know the right people like YouTube, maybe they can make this happen. I don't know. If they don't, then it's probably not going to happen.
Well, I don't think it should happen. Yeah.
Regardless of whether it happens or not, what matters is the intent. This family tried to fucking deplatform a 17-year-old because he mouthed off about their daughter on a YouTube video, so he should have his fucking, I mean, I don't think it's his career, but he should have his fucking, any ability to use YouTube should be stripped away from him because of a mistake he made at 17. That's retarded. And that makes me think this family is just doing this for attention. I don't even know how much they even care about the situation. Maybe the 15-year-old girl cares, but I'm starting to speculate the parents here without knowing them, but still. You want to say something?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
I disagree.
What happened? I said I'm against the platform.
Well, I wanted to just mention because like they did more than that. It was like I want them off YouTube. If he goes to any other platform, we're gonna follow him. We're gonna like sue him for defamation.
Well, they appear,
Jesus Christ! Okay, they're cunts. Holy fuck! They suck. These people fucking suck.
Harlequin funded $5.70.
Damn.
I left a comment of timestamps. Few of them sourcing your debate as the call out, comparing to your debate, heart, just FYI.
Thank you for that. And let me catch some of these other one paused. Literal manufactured school clowns asking their kids to be bullied into oblivion.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Their state of mind in that situation, they appear to be very emotionally invested and very emotionally carried away by the situation.
Who gives a fuck?
I would be interested to know if, like, in a month...
They're grown-ass adults. Dude, these are fucking parents we're talking about. Their responsibility in life while they're raising their kids is to be calm, collected, and guide them through life. I don't give a fuck if they have an emotional reaction, do something really stupid that results in potentially more harm to their children than what was already happening in the first place. Their job as parents is to fucking be cool and respond to situations with the appropriate level of responses warranted, not spurg the fuck out on the internet. They're parents.
From now, they regret saying what they said, because that's usually when situations get emotionally charged, people end up doing things they end up regretting. Now, I'm not giving them a pass for the shit that they did, because they did sit down, edit the video, and upload it. But that is one thing that maybe at the end of the day, they'll end up rethinking the situation and think that they took it too far. But they definitely with the way they characterized him, that was absolutely wrong. It shouldn't have that kind of characterization. I apologize. My dogs are running around me. They may end up appearing here at some point. Or they may end up in one of the cables and everything may end up getting cut off. But, or you may end up hearing growling. I'm sorry.
No problem.
In case you hear growling, I got a pug and a cavalier just running around. Anyway, to go back to what I was saying, I honestly, I'm against deplatforming of any sort. Okay, I think you said in your video that he got a community guideline strike. And that is,
I think that was fair.
The platform typically prescribes for these kinds of situations. So if that's what the platform thought they should do, then that's what they did. And at the end of the day, I'm not responsible. Like, I feel like these kinds of conversations about, oh, should he have gotten a strike? Should he have gotten this? Like, we're not responsible for these decisions. I just got a strike.
Yeah, but we're talking about, like, we're not talking about whether we're responsible or not. We're talking about, like, what do we think is a reasonable action and a reasonable thing to experience. And, like,
this is the kind of conversation that I appreciate having. But at the end of the day, I've had it so many times. I've seen so many people have it. Unless we know somebody at YouTube that we can directly influence to make this change, nothing's gonna happen. This is like, it's literally
we're not talking about like the practicality of like, should we personally deplatform him if we were in charge? No, we're talking about should it happen. It's two different conversations.
Conversation that's just speculative and it doesn't really lead.
Well, yeah, but the conversation, the conversation is simply what I was bringing up was that they're over prescription of punishment.
I want to have a conversation that's productive, that we can all learn something.
Okay, I know, but I mean, all I'm saying, what I'm trying to prove when I say this is that, like, they had a very disproportionate response where they want to deplatform him and chase him across platforms.
That is awful.
I know, and that's simply what I was bringing up, is that, like, this contributes to disproportionate response. Before you were giving him, like, them the benefit of the doubt that they were very emotionally charged, and again, they intentionally lied about his age and, like, matured him. Yeah, and so we have, I know, but, like, that's an inexcusable. There's a difference between getting very emotionally charged and, like, intentionally misrepresenting information.
Okay, now look, at the end of the day, they fucked up. They should have done the right thing. Like I said, they sat down, whether or not they were emotionally like invested in the situation or not. They sat down, they recorded the video, they knew exactly what they said, they edited it, they uploaded it, they left it up. So at the end of the day, I mean, this is pretty open and shut. I mean, I don't agree with the way their approach in their first video. Like I said in my community post, I don't agree with their approach. I don't agree with the way they characterized them. And, you know, I said, I understand that they may have been emotionally invested in the situation in a way that led them to go further than what they would usually go. But at the end of the day, it doesn't justify it. So I just want to make that abundantly clear. Now, I feel like we're also talking around in circles. So I want to figure out a way that we can make this conversation productive, because we're clearly on the same side as far as the harassment wasn't called for.
Well, I think it's been pretty productive. I think that just the conversation in and of itself is a productive conversation. Yeah.
So I'm just thinking of like how we can wrap this up in a nice bow and like just really.
Yeah, I just have like one question, and then if you want, like, you can give your closing, I give a closing, whatever you want to do. I had a question.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I just want to recap real quick. So we both agree that the harassment was.
So they're both pretty much gearing to end the conversation, right? 20 minutes in. However, we can obviously see that it goes on for much, much longer.
Much longer. Holy shit.
I wonder what
2 hours.
happens.
Is uncalled for, and absolutely should not happen. We both agree that the way the family characterized Killick was absolutely wrong and absolutely uncalled for as well. And it was, to some extent, it was extremely defamatory as well. I think those are the two big main points. And also, as far as punishment, he got a community guideline strike. I think you agreed with me on your response. That was the appropriate response, and I even said it in my video. So I think that those are the three main points, unless I'm missing something.
No, the biggest, like, a lot. This is like a big. My main point was like how, like, the race issue that's involved in here, and it's very speculative. But honestly, I don't think that it's unreasonable to make this assumption because you do have the situation again, like intentional. Like, it's a very important detail to me that they intentionally misrepresented the.
All right, now we're getting to race, which I fail to see so far how it's relevant to this case, but we'll see how Papa God makes this argument.
You're trying to say the family's racist because they did that.
I mean, like, listen, man. This gets into a very complicated conversation about racism. Do I think that they're actively racist?
Say it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get to the point. We can't just like.
No. I know. Well, okay, but I don't want to water this. I don't want to water this down of this like prescription of racism. Because what I wanted to say is that like I think that this is something to me that's like like subconscious bias. Like I do think the fact that he was black had like an impact on the situation. I do think that it motivated them to be more aggressive. I could be.
Okay, so Killick is black, and Papa Gut's making the argument that him being black prompted the family to be a cunt towards him.
Yeah, there's no way to prove that or disprove that.
See, this is where Guts gonna start to lose, unless he makes a really compelling case. I don't know. We'll listen to it, but see now we're getting into. We can prove that they're cunts, right? But we can't prove that they're racist. So
yeah.
And now we're getting into. I don't know where this is gonna go, but yeah.
As far as subconscious bias, everybody has subconscious biases.
Yeah, and then some people lean into their subconscious bias more than other people, and I do think that they like lean into it more. Yeah, I don't know.
Just say it. If you think they're racist, just say it.
I don't know that they're actively racist, but I think that there's a racial component here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't. So then you don't think that their actions were racist?
I think I do think that their actions were racist. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So if their actions were racist, then by definition they're racist. That's how it works.
Sure. I mean, I don't know why you're watering it down. Like I'm talking about like a subconscious bias and stuff.
I'm not watering it down. I'm just trying to arrive at a conclusion. But I understand it's a pretty big statement to call them racist. At the end of the day, I do think they fucked up. I would like to believe that they are not racists at heart, but what they did was extremely damaging to a young black boy. It's extremely fucked up. It is extremely fucked up. And I really wish that at the end of the day they had handled that whole situation a little better, because what the issue that they were bringing up is a real.
Katie through 5, Gut brought it up initially because the B family brother called Killick the N-word in their DMs. Ah, okay.
Whoa.
Well, maybe the brother,
okay.
I don't know. I mean, his brother's like, what, 16? He's a fucking shitlord or something. I don't know. Like, what? How does that prove the parents are acting? Like, this implies that, like, the brother and the parents, and I guess the daughter, too, are all just one collective hive mind that have no individual thoughts of their own. And this also implies that the brother mouthing off in the DMs is being racist, which he could be. Or he could be a shitposter. I don't know, he's 16 or something, right? I mean, 16-year-old saying the N-word, not meaning it in a racist context, is not the most unheard of thing in the world. I don't know. But that does provide more context to the situation.
Really serious issue. And I really do think that, their daughter is going through something right now. And I think that they could have perhaps approached the situation with a little more tact.
Do you think that the struggles that the daughter is going through is lost due to the fact that they like overreacted to it? Like, do you think that the message is lost due to the way that they decided to approach it?
I think that those two things can exist at the same time.
Sure.
Just like we're talking about her experience and we're talking about how they characterized him. Those are two things that are ongoing, that are hand in hand, a part of this whole scenario in this conversation. And
I just want to ask you one question, because there's people in your comments that are saying like this, but do you think that she was sexually assaulted?
No, I don't even understand how sexual assault was brought into this conversation. And honestly,
I was just curious if you agreed with that characterization.
I saw you bring that up a lot. That's actually a good thing you brought up. I saw you bring that up a lot in your initial response to my video, and that was kind of confusing to me. Now I know that they used language that implied that a lot.
Well, they said he was a rapist, so like, yeah, that's a pretty heavy implication.
Exactly. What? What?
My God.
The B family said that Killick was a rapist? I'm sorry, where the fuck what?
And Def was defending this family?
I
guess
sorry
Keem
now.
was against them? Like, that's weird.
What?
Holy shit.
For what? Sexual comments? I don't know, man.
Shit.
I'm not finding anything, but Jesus Christ.
Is there like a
they use language that
video we can watch from the family that's like still up or whatever of them like saying he's a rapist?
Yeah.
I'll just assume Papa Gut's telling the truth, but like, goddamn.
Let's see how Def responds to this.
In your initial response to my video, and that was kind of confusing to me. Now I know that they used language that implied that a lot.
Well, they said he was a rapist, so like, yeah, that's a pretty heavy implication.
Exactly. So they used language that implied that a lot. That kind of framed that whole thing as that. I just got an email from someone's
saying that he's a rapist isn't implying much. You're just outright saying it. There's no implication there.
Working with not email, text message. I was actually really confused. That sexual assault got like wrapped into this conversation.
The family wrapped it into the conversation.
Of course, yeah, that was a mistake that they did, and they shouldn't have done that. I mean, they overshot. Like I said, they overshot the whole thing. But this is about this girl being publicly sexually harassed. The sexual assault is different by definition. So
is Def Noodles business partners with this family? Like, why is he so like willing to be like charitable and suck their? Is it just because that Keemstar doesn't like him or something?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Whew.
He did the same thing with the Sniper Wolf story. You know how Sniper Wolf like ghosted the Make-A-Wish person or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sided with Sniper Wolf just because Keemstar was against it.
Well, you know what? Looking at YouTube and looking at all these characters as like a fucking, you know, a sports team or something and being like, oh, that guy doesn't like that guy, so I'm on that guy's team. Look where it gets you right here, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the situation that Def Noodles has found himself in. Now he's in the hot seat getting grilled by somebody his own fucking chat sides with more than him, and now he's kind of realizing, yeah, I know they're kind of, I know the family made a lot of mistakes, and I know they're kind of cunts or something, and I know this doesn't look good. Yeah. You see, when you play fucking team sports, you get into these fucking messy situations.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a different conversation. I don't think it should have been injected into this because it just ends up adding a whole level of emotion to it that really doesn't provide any clarity to resolve anything, really.
Well, that's the thing too, is that they injected it even though it was completely uncalled for, which speaks again to like their just bad faith from them in characterizing this. Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, they fucked up. They fucked up. I don't know what's in their heart. I don't know them. That's the whole thing. Like we're all.
Well, yeah, but we can make reasonable assumptions, and like we have consistently they've been misrepresenting the situation in order to make this kid look as bad as possible. They called him.
We have to take a moment and step back. Look,
okay.
We only know these people just like you and I know each other up until this point. We had never spoken before. Okay, we only know each other through a screen. Okay, this relationship is extremely it's a passive relationship. We get to have our observations, but we're learning about these people through a distance, and we're making value judgments and all this stuff based on what we are seeing, and oftentimes projecting onto what we see on the screen. At the end of the day, I think they fucked up. I think they shouldn't have done what they did, but I think that having a conversation of what is in their heart and what is in, like, I think it's just a weird conversation. I don't know them. I can't really speak. I feel like
but it feels like a really easy thing to say. Well, I don't know them, so I can't pass a judgment. But like we've seen again that they've completely misrepresented the situation. That's an objective truth.
They fucked up. I mean,
that's to why either they're but as to why they misrepresented the situation is either that they're wildly uneducated on anything or they're trying to deplatform this kid.
Do you think the reason why they misrepresented it is because they're racist?
Possibly. They're definitely pieces of shit for it.
I don't know. While their actions definitely were.
Okay, so like I just need you to understand something. They called him a rapist and a predator. Like, do you know how do you think that feels to people who were raped to call this kid a rapist?
That is, I said it's absolutely fucking wrong.
So like I feel like we're giving them a tremendous amount of the benefit of the doubt here, and like not even saying, like they did a bad thing intentionally. It very much feels that way because there were so many areas where they failed. It wasn't like a one-off. Intentionally misrepresented the age, continuously called him a grown man after they corrected the age. Weaponizing pedophilia, predators, sexual assault. There's a lot here. And I feel like we're being like a little too easy on them because they definitely did like a really terrible thing, and they're invalidating a tremendous amount of survivors here.
How are we being easy on them when we literally just call them out,
saying that we don't know what's in their heart?
We call them out for the framing of the entire story. They literally just got called racist. I don't know if calling someone racist is going easy on someone to you, but
that was I mean, I guess that was me though. You keep saying like, we don't know what's in their heart, and that's what I mean. Like when I say we, I'm compounding the two of us so that we can.
Hold on now. Calling somebody racist isn't going easy on them. Kind of like how this guy called me a racist, right? So he acknowledges that it's a fucked up thing to do, to call somebody racist. Curious, isn't it?
When I say we, I'm compounding the two of us so that we can share the struggle together.
Asking me, I can say that someone fucked up. I can objectively say they fucked up. The way that they represented him, the way that they framed the entire situation, the way that they everything that they used to describe him, they fucked up beginning to fucking end. Yeah. However, I don't know them. I don't know the reasons for doing what they did. I cannot jump to a conclusion. I try to like give people I can't just sit here and like with your video, for example, I can't just sit here and think that, oh, this guy just hates me. That's why he made that video. He just hates me.
That seems to be what you projected in the first video when you first did it.
Where did I say that?
Well, I mean, I think it's implied when you keep calling me like a dumb fuck.
Okay, but this is again, you're jumping to conclusions.
I think it's a reasonable conclusion. I don't think that it's unreasonable for us to look at the actions of other. Hold on. I just want to let me just hold on.
You're basing your entire arguments on assumption.
Well, no, but okay, but like I hold on. Let me get the thought out, please. Let me just.
It's fine.
I think that it's a very reasonable thing for people to do, to receive interactions with the world and then make assumptions based off them. So, like, for instance, if I walk outside and somebody calls me a dumb fuck, I'm going to assume that they don't respect me or like me, right? That's a reasonable assumption.
There's a difference between you walking outside and a person on the street calling you a dumb fuck versus somebody who hosts an entertainment show, a comedian who hosts an entertainment show and is cracking jokes and is, I mean, you really think that...
Hold on. Why does the comedian thing have anything to do with it?
So last time I went to watch Bill Burr, he spent the last 30 minutes of his entire set just ripping into this lady that was
at a comedy show, right?
He ripped her to fucking shreds. He called her a piece of shit. He called her a gold digger. He called her every fucking nasty name in the fucking book. Mm-hmm. Now, there's an aspect of comedy that, yes, insults are a part of it. My show's an entertainment show. People watch me for entertainment.
Dude, I don't think insults are a part of comedy. I think that's like the core of comedy. But what do I know? I didn't read a book about it.
Okay, now I apologize for calling you those names. I understand that you felt. I mean, I haven't heard it directly from you, but from a few of the people who are your followers, they said that they felt hurt by me calling you a moron and a dumb fuck. Now,
that's fine. I have a question. Okay, where does the humor start and end?
Just wanted to make the distinction
between. So Def Noodles is basically subtly admitting here that the only reason why he apologized for calling the guy a moron and a dumb fuck is because the majority of people in his comment section actually like this guy and therefore gave Def Noodles a considerable amount of pushback when he did that, right? Like, is that, am I looking way too hard into that? That feels like what he just admitted to. It feels like he just, because again, I'm like, why would he care so much about calling somebody a dumb fuck when he called me like a fucking racist and didn't give a fuck, right? Like, why would he suddenly care about like the considerations of other people's like feelings, I guess? I don't know. Oh, it's because his audience is giving him pushback. They don't care if he calls me a racist because they either don't know who I am or if they do know who I am, they probably don't like me. But for this guy, oh, okay, we gotta back it up a little bit. I can't just randomly fucking call this guy an asshole. My chat actually likes him and I have to appeal to them. Again, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait till he talks about Def's comedy. Whew, things are about to get spicy. I can already tell.
Somebody calling you a dumb fuck in the middle of the street, and somebody who's hosting a show, a comedian who's hosting a show, okay, calling you a dumb fuck. I mean, that's pretty much like there's a difference. Okay,
so but where does the humor start and end?
Insults. There are a ton of fucking insults. Insults are humorous. There, Joan Rivers built.
Wait, okay, wait, hold on. I actually agree with you. So wait, hold on. You're saying insults? They're like you're okay. All right. You're saying that the insults were jokes.
I mean, my entire show is meant to be jokes.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. You're saying the insult. Okay, so then why isn't it a joke that what Killick said? If you insulting me was a joke, why isn't that what Killick was saying? Why wasn't that a joke?
Oh, it's
because
over.
the context that he was doing it in is different. Okay.
Well, what do you mean?
There's this whole thing. He even says that he was doing it to get under his skin.
So wait, well, yeah, okay. So you're saying you weren't calling me a dumb fuck to get under my skin.
Context fucking matters for everything.
You don't think that you were calling me a dumb fuck and calling me an incel to get under my skin? That's what you're saying?
No, that has nothing to do with it. That's because I thought it was funny. I literally, genuinely, I called you an incel knowing that you were married. I know it. I know that little about you that you were married. I thought this is fucking hilarious.
Look at him weasel. Look at him crawl around like a little fucking worm as he's getting fucking stomped by Papa Gut. Dude, Papa Gunt is fucking crushing him under his gun right now. Holy shit, this is fun to watch.
But I'm calling this guy who's married an incel because it's obvious you're fucking married. There's irony there.
Why is it obvious that I'm married?
What do you mean it's, yeah, exactly. Why is it obvious that he's married? Nobody fucking knows that. Well, I guess his chat knew that because apparently his chat loves Papa Gut, so maybe they were more clued in on the details there of his fucking marriage. But like,
you have to be like a consistent watcher to know he's married. It's not like he has a channel with his wife or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be obvious.
Exactly, and nobody's listening to Def Noodles call this guy an incel and thinking, oh, aha, the joke here is that he's actually not an incel. Whoa. Nobody's thinking like that. They're just thinking that this guy's calling him a fucking incel to discredit him. Oh, well, the only reason why Papa Gut would defend Killick is because he's an incel who hates women and families and little girls and stuff like that.
Yeah, that seems like an actual point he's making. If he like randomly called him an incel, just like randomly with no correlation to the argument, I guess okay. But then if he's saying he's doing something because he's an incel, then that's not okay. That's more of an accusation than a joke, right?
For chat's clarifying that he does have a channel with his wife as well as she appears frequently on his streams. Well, okay, that's fair. But even still, like again, like I've heard of Papa Gut for a while. I didn't know he was married.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
I don't know. I don't think it's like as apparently obvious as Def Noodles is making it out to be. Let me just put it that way.
Huh? Why is it obvious? To people, so it's okay. So to people that don't know me, which is probably like 95% of your audience, how is it obvious that I was married?
Look, I said this in an interview like a couple of years ago, I guess at this point. A lot of what I do is to amuse myself, my own humor. If that translates to other people, then that's fucking fine.
So only you get the joke. Then how the fuck do we know if you're joking if only you're clued in on it? And also, what kind of comedian only tells jokes that they get? Right? That doesn't make any sense. If you're a comedian, you're trying to cause the audience to laugh, to get along with you, to like you, right? Why would you only tell jokes? That's like if you were a comedian, but you only told inside jokes. Nobody would care. Nobody would think it's funny.
A lot of it, if I find it funny and humorous, then that's what I go with. Especially here where I'm literally...
Dude, you're an entertainer. You serve the crowd. Not yourself. Fuck are you talking about?
In a fucking room by myself recording these videos versus being in front of in a comedy club in front of people who are actually giving me like real-time reactions.
Okay.
It's different. It's like I have to go with literally things that I find funny. And as I said, Look,
so okay, hold on.
That it didn't feel too good about it. So
yeah, no. Well, this is the thing that's interesting to me because like there was no obvious indicator that there was a joke. And so what you're saying is like, hey, I make content for myself, and like what my intentions matter more than the way that it's pushed into the world. Are you saying that like you don't like? Do you feel like content creators are responsible for the way that their fans interpret their content? Just fundamentally,
do you think content?
I agree to an extent. So, for instance, if you're calling like somebody like a rapist or something like that, and people in your audience come off with the interpretation that, oh, well, this guy's probably rapes people or probably has raped somebody in the past, you're probably responsible for that, right? But if you like, I don't know, there's ways where it's like how the audience interprets what you say is not necessarily tied to you. I can't think of an immediate example off the top of my head, but to an extent, this is correct.
Creators are responsible for how they're
like, for example, people like say my videos are like Pokemon hating, which I don't think. I think most of them are just like talking about the situation, and then people in the comments come to their own conclusion about Pokemon, which is negative, and then they act inappropriately based on their conclusion that they came from my video, but I didn't like do anything to make them influence them one way or the other. They just came to that on their own, so I wouldn't be responsible for that. But if I was going on being like,
it's like if you made a Pokemon video and then like there was like a small, like let's say like 5% of your audience walked away being like, wow, women are all cunts, you know, even though you never said that or you never
exactly.
That. It's like you're not responsible for that because you were never even trying to like make that message in the first place, right? You were just saying, hey, Pokemon striked my video and she's an asshole for that, and your audience, and then like 5% are like, oh, well, women all suck, right? Like you're not responsible for that because you never fucking said that. You know, that's an example, right? Where you're not responsible.
Yeah,
but if you're outright saying shit and implying shit, then to some extent you are responsible.
The content.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this is crazy. You could fucking take the Chapman case, him listening to the fucking Beatles for 3 fucking years and then deciding to murder John Lennon. You're gonna blame John fucking Lennon for that?
Well, no, but there's a difference between like that's an outlier. That's a massive outlier. There's a difference. That's a massive outlier. There's a difference.
You're gonna blame John Lennon for literally murder.
This is not actually. No. There's a difference between like us, like an outlier individual misinterpreting a point and then being a radical versus you giving off something that the majority of your audience interprets as a particular thing. Most of your audience interprets like all the dumb fuck insults as like I'm a dumb fuck, right? So like that's what I'm saying. So do you think
you're speaking for like 600 something thousand people?
Yeah, well, according to my comments, like.
Yeah, he's holding up pretty well in this debate. Like I said, I'm struggling a little bit with like the ties to race. But so far I'm pretty much agree with everything he's saying. I mean,
it's obviously like I guess a leap and a speculation on their motives, but it isn't like a completely unfounded. Like if he was saying they're racist just because they're like shitting on a black person,
it seems pretty unfounded. I'm not gonna lie.
It seems unfounded. But then he has like the N-word stuff to like back it up.
Yeah, but
I don't know if
even
that's
doesn't
obviously
make any sense. If the brother mouthed off in fucking DMs and called him an N-word, all right, a 16-year-old boy saying the N-word isn't the most unheard of concept in the world, and that doesn't even mean that he's being racist. He could just be being a fucking prick. And even if he was being racist, all right, if the 16-year-old brother is fucking racist, that doesn't mean that the dad and the mom are too, right? They're not all like collectively thinking the same thoughts.
I'm just saying that like. Papa Guts guess that the racist isn't completely unfounded. It's based on like something, at least. It isn't like random. It isn't like just because they're going after a black person, they're racist. Like it isn't like it at least has something to back it up. He isn't being like completely just like SJW, like, oh, they're against a black person, so that's automatically racist. Again, I think it's still a bit of a leap. I agree with you in that sense, but at least he like, it's not like completely unfounded. The assumption, and he's just saying that's probably his opinion. He's not saying it's a fact, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people who are very supportive of you. Apparently, we share a fan base somehow.
Yeah.
So there's like,
why do you say somehow?
Because I have no idea. I have no idea that we like align or that we have people who are like aligned with the same point of view. I honestly like people start once the whole thing happened. People started sending me some of your videos like where you say that a white person can say the N-word as long as it's in private. Like I was like, how do I align?
We could talk about that if you'd like to. I talk about it all the time.
Let me finish my point. I'm just saying.
Well, that's a big point that you just mentioned. So I would like to address it.
I was genuinely confused how like I had an audience that intersects with somebody who believes that kind of shit, or who has
sure.
said
So yeah, sure. Let me talk about it. So I know what you're referring to. I didn't say that like you can say the N-word in private. So what I was actually saying is listen, man, because this is a big conversation. There's actually a lot of good content creators on TikTok, even if they get sucked into like the commentary sphere where they get very divisive, right? One of those people is Ann Karen. She's actually a good content creator, but she kind of lets herself get sucked up in a similar way to me, except obviously I got banned for it, which is fair, I think. One thing that she had done is she like intentionally went out of her way. She found a follower of mine that had said something really dumb about white people saying the N-word. They said like we should all say it or no one should say it. And it was somebody I mutually followed back. So she called me out and said like, oh, do you agree with this? And this is what I said. I said, first of all, I don't think white people should be having the conversation about who should and shouldn't say the N-word. I said, second of all, if you insist on saying it, say it in private and don't be antagonistic. It's a pragmatic thing to say. It's not me supporting it. And then I lastly said that there are basically some white people that grow up in areas where it is acceptable for them to say it to other people, like other black people. That's not me. That's not even a representative of the majority of white people. But I gave like a very pragmatic, like nuanced take that was intentionally taken out of context.
I understand.
Okay, cringe take, but totally different than what Def Noodles portrayed it as. So that just shows, it's just an example of Def Noodles being sloppy. Now, obviously, he's not saying that on like a news broadcast. He's saying that in a conversation with him and immediately gets clarified. But like, it's just funny to me, like how Def Noodles is like, did you have this weird take on the N-word? And then it finds out very quickly that actually, no, the take was pretty much the opposite. Albeit with a minor amount of nuance.
That's your take. I mean, at the end of the day, the same way you have a nuanced take as far as this situation, I have a nuanced take as far as interpreting people's intentions. Yeah. And that's why I would, if I don't know the person, if I don't know what drove them to do something, at the end of the day, I would rather skirt away from cynicism and just attribute that this person is evil, they're doing this because they want this and that and this, and you know, unless there's evidence to prove the contrary, then to just say, you know, that
the problem I have with that is that like when you first addressed my video to you, you completely disregarded my point, and you started off with the young girl to prime your audience into thinking that I was some kind of like somebody who supported like predatorization. You said something
he assumes every because you said something along 100% malicious and not founded in actual criticism. It's kind of a bad way to go about things. Isn't that what Def Noodle said, or am I interpreting him wrong?
Let me back that up.
The problem I have with that is that like when you first addressed my video to you, you completely disregarded my point, and you started off with the young girl to prime your audience into thinking that I was some kind of like somebody who supported like predatorization. You said something like that. Hold on, because you said something along the lines of like I enjoy like stuff like this, and so like that's priming your audience instead of starting with like here's Papa Gut's take. Hold on. Instead of starting with like here, wait, hold on. Instead of starting with like here's Papa Gut's. No, I'm not. So hold on. Let me get my point through, and then you can talk. Like, let me get my point out, right?
But you're clearly mischaracterizing. You started. How can you get a point out?
But how can you like make the assertion that I'm mischaracterizing it if you won't even let me finish the point I'm trying to make? Why are you afraid of me finishing?
Off the mischaracterization. You said that I primed my audience to already hate you.
Yes.
Like that's so absolutely insane.
I know. I don't know why you did it. So listen, let me just get this thing out.
Listen. First, you jumped off the assertion that I did it.
So okay, let me propose my point. I know that. Listen, man. I don't want this to devolve into this.
I'm curious because that's actually I take that very seriously.
Okay,
like
so let me get it out.
That I'm manipulating my audience to hate you.
Okay, so can I get my point?
If I wanted to do that, look, if I really wanted to do that, there are better ways for me to do it than what is in my video.
Can I make the point?
Honestly, I kind of suck at doing that because of the amount of blowback that I got from this shit. I suck at doing that. If that's
it doesn't matter if he sucks at doing it. The fact that he still tried is like the fucking problem here. Def seems to think that like if you intend to do something bad but you fail to do it, then suddenly you're off the hook, right? That's not how that fucking works. Also, I will say this. People were saying earlier that this debate was better than mine or something, and I was just saying like, fuck you. I actually do think this debate is way better than mine. I don't know. I'm entertained by this. This is some good shit.
Yeah. I think Papa Gut's handling himself like really well and just being like straightforward and honest. And then like Def Noodles is like getting mad because he's realizing
it's more back
like,
and forth
stupid.
though, which I like. That's again a criticism I had of myself is I let him talk too much. So yeah, I kind of dipped into how I handle the show. So for instance, like when people are having like a good back and forth in my show, I'll tend to be quiet, which I think works well for my live streams, but not really well for one-on-one conversations. I don't think. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway.
Really tried to do. Damn, I fucking suck at doing that.
I'm not trying to go down like this path of like
successful at doing what you're saying that I tried to do. Then I fucking suck. Okay. I suck at that. Seriously, I wouldn't be here. Like I wouldn't.
It doesn't matter if you suck.
Here having this conversation.
Listen, I do appreciate you here.
Like, do you understand how your own point undoes itself?
It doesn't. Like, I haven't been able to make the point yet. Like, can I make my point? I just want to be able to get it out there. Okay, so listen. First and foremost, like, we'll talk. Priming is something that everybody does. People do priming for positive reasons, negative reasons, and neutral reasons.
Yeah,
right. If I broke something in my house, let's say I broke a vase. It was my wife's favorite vase, right? And she came home, and the first thing I said was, "Listen, I don't want you to get mad. I got a little drunk, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I broke your vase." That's priming her to not think it's a big deal. What I'm trying to say is that like we were talking about the intentions of people. I forget specifically, but like or mischaracterizing or being And if you were going to go through the situation in like probably the best way to do it, it would be here's Papa Gut's take and here's why I think it's wrong. But what you did instead is you focused on the girl and you didn't even bring up my specific problem.
No. Perhaps that's the way you do it.
That's the way you should do it. But then how come you didn't bring up my original point in your response video, even though I made it clear like multiple times?
It's your original point, the point that the family mischaracterized him?
Yeah, and then like the racial element.
Yeah, I was focusing on one aspect.
I know,
of it.
but don't you think it's like kind of dishonest to not add like a huge part
I'm
of it?
addressing it now. I'm literally saying, David, I said it at the very beginning of this. I don't know why you keep bringing back to something that I already said. They fucked up. They did the wrong thing.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that like you didn't address it, and you didn't address my point in your original video.
That video's done.
No, I know. It feels like every time I just try to make a point, instead of being like, you know what, that was shitty of me. You just like, let's move on. And I'm trying to make like a reasonable point here.
Listen, that video's done. The best I can do right now is exactly what I told you when we started. Okay, I came here, acknowledged that I didn't include that. I failed to not include that in the first
they're there
videos
to
that I
debate
covered.
the video, though. And he's saying it's done, but they're there to debate the video. I mean, obviously, Def Noodles can't rewind time, but they're there to discuss the video and why it was bad. And now he's just like, oh, it's done, it's done. Like, what the fuck?
Def is a fixin' to holla. He's a fixin' to holla.
And then again in your response video to me,
I failed to include that. So what I'm going to do is at the beginning of my next video, I will address it. I don't know what else they can do about it. We can keep coming back to this point, but it's just going to keep rehashing, and we're going to keep going around in circles. And like I said, this conversation isn't going to be really productive. If this is
now he's backing away from the priming arguments. Now we're going back to I'll fix it. Fuck off. You know, like
it's going to end up being.
Okay. Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of very circular conversations with people?
I do not actually, no. But this conversation is actually
this is an outlier conversation, this circular, because I would say I don't usually have circular conversations either.
Keep bringing back the same exact points. We've already been through it.
Boy, if there was one word to describe my debate with him, it would be circular. I would agree with that.
But
like the problem is like you're kind of like you're
trying to move on. So clearly, I don't go in circular conversations. I think it's interesting. I just think it's interesting. I don't know what else I can do. I mean, if anybody has a suggestion, look, I'm open to suggestions. I am far from being a perfect human being.
Sure,
I try my best, but at the end of the day, I suck.
Something I finally agree on with Def Noodles. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Well, I guess Def Noodles wins the debate
He
right
won.
there with that
GG.
point. Yeah, that's a really good point by Def Noodles. I don't know how Papa Gut can respond. Like,
the person, I suck. I'm learning how to live every day. I will keep making mistakes. The only thing I can promise you is that I will try my best to present everything I do in the most honest way possible, and to be to stand by my principles. And honestly, I made a mistake in that situation. I should have not been as laser focused on that one aspect of the girl being publicly sexually harassed. And I will remedy that at the beginning of my next video. I'm trying to remedy that right now by having this conversation. And I don't know what else you want me to do.
In all honesty, I don't even care if you include. Well, I don't even care if you include me in the video. I'm more interested in like the deplatforming narrative is more important than me getting any like exposure or anything. It's just like listen. I don't think that there's anything else you need to do. It's just that we get into points in the conversation, and then I will bring something up, and then you, no offense, you kind of like ramble around my point until we lost like what the original thing what we were talking about was, and we get so off topic.
What I rambled about? What was the rambling?
I believe we were talking. Okay, so because we really got off topic, we were originally talking about you making like how what you're saying is like a joke, and then I came into like why is it different from Killick, and then we get into this whole conversation about how like the satire's for you, the way your audience interprets it's up to them, and then I talked to you about how do you think that.
Look, let me explain something.
No, but see how you're doing it again. I'm just trying to get.
Like, I understand you want to drill down on my comedy. We can do that all.
No, but like I'm trying to this is such an important topic
We're
too.
talking about your fucking YouTube videos. I guess that's the comedy, right? But like, no, you can't just fucking excuse it as comedy. Like your shitty, not even just your shitty reporting or like the times you get like core details of stories wrong, but just your characterization of the people that you fucking talk about, right? He's making the argument that you primed your audience to already hate Papa Gut before you even talked about it, right? And for some reason, he seems to get really fucking mad at that point. He's like, oh, I do not want to fucking address this, man. Like, he's really trying his best not to.
Yeah.
And it's really curious as to why.
Yeah. Also, he's discussing how, like, Def Noodles is getting off track and rambling around his points, and then he asks why, and then he starts to explain, and then halfway through the explanation, he contests something from the previous conversation and rambles around his initial point. Lol.
I just spent 2 fucking hours with like 6 different comedians, and we were just shooting the shit about comedy the whole time. And I fucking love talking about comedy. We can do that all fucking day. At the end of the day, look, it's
nobody wants to talk about
I know, but like we were talking, like we were just trying to make a point, and I asked you, like, do you think that content creators are responsible for the way that their audience interprets what they say? And you brought it to a very outlier perspective. Whereas I was saying that most of the people who watch your video actually believe that you think I'm a dumb fuck. So if you were making a comedic response, it was completely lost.
Let me flip that to you, okay?
Sure.
So as a content creator, what do you think content creators are responsible for their audience's reaction?
Yes, to a degree, absolutely.
I feel like it has to be pretty black and white because
I think that like making
really, I'm surprised that Def has this take that content creators are pretty much Is he? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth, right? But like, is he saying that it's like generally content creators are not responsible for their audience? Because I feel like he would say the opposite.
Yeah, that's what he's saying here, and I feel like maybe stuff he said in the past has contradicted that, but I can't think of any specific point.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, and I don't even know if that's his current take, because he says it has to be pretty black and white, but like, I don't know. I'm surprised he gave that answer.
Something white is, I don't think
somebody goes based on your video and literally murders someone, then either you're responsible for it or you're not. So there's no gray area in that.
Right, but that's a very outlier. Like again, most times people aren't getting murdered.
I'm drawing that distinction because that's why I feel like there shouldn't be gray areas in this.
Well, there is. It's like this is a situation of gray areas.
Then you're walking back the yes.
What?
Okay.
So can I just use like an anecdote to try to explain the situation? Yeah. So I was a really shitty content creator on TikTok, and I was rightfully banned, right? And one of the things that I did is I made this joke, right? I made a joke that was a joke to me, and it was basically there was this trans woman who some guy was just asking like, oh, how come females do this? And like, I don't know if you know about like the conversation that some people think that the word female is inherently disrespectful. And so the guy wasn't
about in the context of like some guy saying, oh yeah, we'll hook up some females over there.
Sure, like high value men bullshit. Like that's obviously wrong because we know. I'm assuming we agree with high value men are fucking losers. Honestly, that whole conversation with Fresh and Finn stuff.
It's like a red pill alpha male shit.
Yeah. So, but this guy was just using it as like a term, and this trans woman was like very angry and aggressive about it, and they're like, oh, what do you mean females? And so like I made this joke, and it was a shitty joke where I put on like a filter that made me look like I was in drag. I said, yeah, what do you mean by females? The majority of I didn't intend to be transphobic, or I didn't intend for people to take that and invalidate their identity, but they did. And I'm responsible for that because yes, my intentions matter, but as a large content creator, one of the things hold on. One of the as a content creator,
back.
Well, no, okay, but like I'm saying that my like a lot.
You were clearly ridiculing the trans person.
Okay, can I just want to make this like I'm really just trying to like do like a okay. So the majority of my audience, even though my intention wasn't to be invalidating of this person in a serious way, my audience interpreted it as such, and that's my failure as a content creator. And as a content creator with like a lot of people watching you and following you, you are responsible for like like your intentions matter, but a lot of times it can get very lost because you're speaking to so many people. So you need to talk in a way that is like as concise as possible. So I do think, I think that I'm responsible for the hatred that person got, even if I didn't intend it, because I have, or at least then I had a lot of followers.
See, I like this guy so far because even the takes that he gives that I might disagree with, like the responsibility of your audience or, you know, a racial intent or something like that. Like even these arguments that I feel like I'd probably disagree with him on. I feel like he actually like has like a reasonable like backup for his points. Like, like I don't know. It seems like he's able to like rationalize and come to conclusions themselves, not based on like what I guess the audience wants. Because I mean, apparently this guy used to be like kind of edgy or something on TikTok, and then he kind of chilled down a little bit. But I don't really read that. And again, I don't know him too well, but I don't read that as like a disingenuous like shift. I just think, I don't know. I feel like this guy's more open to conversation, and I can respect that really, as long as it comes to conclusions naturally and has like a reason for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's, to me, from the way I haven't seen the video, from the way you described it to me,
right?
The clear target of that joke is the trans person.
Sure.
Okay, that's a clear target. That's who you were mocking. That's who you were ridiculing. Yeah. Okay. Like there are different types of jokes. I mean, but
like that's exactly the same type of joke that you did, except yours was more aggressive. So why is yours okay and mine's not okay? This is what I'm talking.
What you did was a level of parody, right?
Yeah, but it was wrong. It was still wrong because of the way people.
I'm thinking out loud. Give me a second.
Okay,
I'm thinking out loud. So you were parodying her. That's why she was the target of your joke, etc. Joke is a labeling joke. I'm labeling you something. Like I've run into this before, where people get offended by the things that I label people. I label Keemstar a toilet drinker. Okay, I literally say he literally complained about it in one of his latest Twitter posts. He's like, he called me a toilet drinker. Like I label him that. I literally, what did I label? I label Bryce Hall Sid from Ice Age.
Okay.
Like I label these are label jokes. They're common.
But I'm assuming that you're not a particular fan of
label me a slander again.
That's most people would make that assumption.
I just said that I label Bryce Hall as well. Everything. The thing is that there's this whole thing with comedy, right? You can make fun of everyone, but at the same time, if somebody gets offended, then all of a sudden you can't make fun of anyone, right? I try to draw the line in what I do. As far as coming after people's appearance and things that I don't agree with joking about, like I try to joke mostly about people's actions and other things. Do I miss the mark sometimes? Yes. It's not always perfect. If your end goal with this is for me to change the title, I will go back and change the title.
No, it has nothing to do with it. I'm just trying to show the original point that I was trying.
I personally knew that you were married, and I thought it was ironic and funny, but obviously I missed the mark. I fucked up.
Well, okay, but like the original point that I was trying to make here was that like it seems kind of like a double standard to say like I'm intentional, like I say very rude things to somebody and it's a joke from you, but then when somebody else like Hillick does it, it's somehow not a joke anymore.
It's context. Context.
But there's no context within your joke because nobody understands the context that you're making. To be honest with you, I think that you're
context
just.
Is that my show.
I think that you use comedy as a way to make it.
How does he not know that? Fuck, what's the kid's name again? I forgot.
Killick or something?
Oh, Killick. How does he not know that Killick doesn't have some hidden imaginary context that makes what he said appropriate in his mind that we just don't know about? Because Def seems to imply that comedians do this all the time, or just people that tell jokes do this all the time, where they mention jokes that are only like funny to them, like they serve themselves, not the people, right? How do we not know Killick's not doing that? You know?
Yeah.
Maybe his friend fucking was like, hey, I bet you won't say this crazy shit about this girl or something. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll do it on fucking YouTube or something. Like, we don't know. Like, obviously, it's unlikely that happened. But it's also unlikely that Def Noodles says half the shit that he does in the context of a joke that only he would get, right?
Mm-hmm. He expects everyone to give him the benefit of the doubt to the greatest degree, but then does the opposite to everybody else. He gives them the worst benefit of the doubt possible. It's just hypocritical. Like, all of Def Noodles' jokes and intentions are are always in the best light possible, but if someone else makes a joke or does something, oh, that's in the worst possible way. You know, I'm gonna interpret it in the worst possible way and explain it to my audience in the worst possible way. Like, it's just very hypocritical.
Right. All right, we'll get back into it.
So they don't have to take accountability for the things that you do wrong.
I'm
But
literally
if there's a habit of people misinterpreting your comedy, maybe you're not that funny.
Hold on. You can't just make a blanket fucking statement like that and just say, I literally just said I would go back and change my fucking title for you.
Okay, I don't care about that. I just don't.
Hold on. That's some fucking bullshit, right? I just said I was going to change my title. I'll go back and change it.
Okay, I don't
like
care
right
about
now, at the end of the day, you could say that about any fucking comedian. You could say that about any that they're hiding behind their fucking jokes. That's some straight up fucking bullshit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I could say that you have a video, for example, where you say that what was it? It was like they're like apparently signs at supermarkets saying that
that's a great video to talk about. Yeah, I brought that up in our video.
No one can buy it from a black-owned business or whatever. Like or even the one where you say if she bleeds, she's rated bleed.
I would love to talk about both of these. Wait, hold on. Can we talk about both of these?
Are you telling me that you're actually a pedophile and you're just hiding behind a joke?
Whoa.
Are you telling me?
Can we talk about
Since you're gonna apply that circumstance to me, that I'm hiding behind jokes.
Yes.
That the person who's actually like, I'm a fucking. I know people fucking meme this all the fucking time. Honestly, I don't give a flying fuck. But I am an actual working comic. Like, I've written for television shows. I've actually been paid to write sketches for years. I've acted in shit. Like, I did this for a long time.
Can we?
Dude, I'm a comedian, all right? I've done a ton of open mics, all right? Holy shit. Dude, I'm basically Mr. Comedian over here. I love comedy. Dude, the amount of times this guy mentions being a comedian in, like, serious arguments makes me believe that he's really fucking insecure about being a YouTuber, just like a lot of other YouTubers, and he really wants to have something else, anything else under his label that's not just being a YouTuber. Just my theory, though.
So you made like I've been
like I know comic performers. I performed for years. Like this is my actual fucking job.
Okay.
And the pandemic ended up making it so I can do it on the internet. So
can I address those two things that you brought up?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I just want to
so because the problem is that I talk about those a lot.
You can address them. Sure. I just want to say that just the fact that you threw that out there, it just doesn't stand on its own.
Okay.
Especially when I mean your own jokes. What would that say about you?
But the problem with what you're saying is that I'm already like acknowledging that even if I had positive intentions, my actions were wrong. So let me talk about both of those jokes. So first of all, the old enough to bleed video.
What do you want? So what do you want me to do? No, I get it. So
I just want to talk about these two things you brought up. I don't want you to steamroll over me talking about these two things.
You want me to apologize for calling you an incel?
No, I would like to talk about these two things you brought up.
It's fine. You said something and I have to like address it because you literally made a point. You're like, I express regret. So you want me to apologize? I'll apologize. I'm sorry.
No, I don't. Okay, thanks.
I'm sorry. Not every joke fucking lands.
Okay.
Sometimes people get offended by jokes. I understand if that offended you.
Okay. I don't want to steamroll through because I really want to talk about those two videos. They're so important.
I'll do my phone real quick. Hold up. I'm changing.
Okay.
Now.
I really can. While you're doing that, can I explain these two things that I brought up before?
Yeah. Well, give me 1 sec. Like I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm kind of an idiot. So.
Okay, so can I talk about the old enough to bleed video?
Def Noodles is making a lot of good points in this debate.
Where's this fucking video, dude? Oh, here it is.
He's popping off.
So, yeah, give me one. Sorry, I'm changing this right now.
I'm an idiot.
I'm sorry this offended you. It's
it didn't really offend me.
My jokes
anyway,
don't
can I talk
always
about
land.
You wouldn't have brought it up unless it did. So clearly,
I mean, I just disagree. I listen. Okay, so let's talk about the old enough to bleed. The full joke that I made was if she's old enough to bleed, she's old enough to breed. Thank you very much, Andre Lopez, for the advice. So Andre Lopez at the time was a 23-year-old TikToker with like 20 million.
I know what Andre is. I actually broke that story, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, which story is that?
15-year-old girl, the one with the recording.
Yeah. So regardless of my intention was to call that out. I would use humor to call that out, but it missed because people misinterpreted it. It's an inappropriate joke regardless.
What's context? That's the thing that we keep coming back to. Humor is all about context.
I know, but like you threw out the old enough to bleed, old enough to breed thing. I'm just like explaining my take on it. It's still inappropriate because of the sphere that I was in, and like people were very sensitive to pedophile jokes, which makes perfect sense. And so like now I'm more sensitive to making like that joke, and I'm going to stop because I am worried about the way that what I'm saying is interpreted. I know, but it's not just
nobody's going to hear a joke like that and start raping kids. That's the thing, right? It's like you can make the argument, and it's shoddy, and I don't know if I agree with it, but you can make the argument, or at least assert, that normalizing your audience to edgy humor could possibly lead them down a road where they start believing it and maybe start actually developing some sort of racist thought. Now, I would challenge this by saying, well, I think somebody who was going to fall down that road was going to, regardless of whether they heard your edgy joke or not, right? But an argument could be made. Highly debatable, but could be made. You can't make the argument that, like, making a bunch of fucking pedophile jokes will cause the audience to think, maybe it's okay to rape kids. Fuck, I didn't think about that.
I think why Papa got moved away from it, though, is more so because it offended people rather than he actually thinks people are going to become rapists or what have you.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, that's kind of the point of, I don't know, whatever. That's a fair point.
I don't know. It's his decision.
It's the way that people receive information, and like we need to make sure we speak about it. Yes, it is.
Louis C.K. did a 7-minute bit on SNL where he talks about a pedophile in his neighborhood, offering him McDonald's, and him getting in his car and getting molested.
But we're not on SNL, and so like it wasn't appropriate for me to make a joke on TikTok.
Context. That's the whole thing. In my show, people know that they're clicking on a comedy show. It's been a comedy show.
So there's different standards on SNL than there is on TikTok? I don't think that's true.
Are you, wait, okay, so are you saying that like you agree with my original take of the old enough to believe?
I have it written in my description. I label it everywhere. Like if you watch my videos and you think that some of the things that I'm saying as a joke are fucking real, then
well, hold on. We're going. You're like kind of like gish galloping here. Okay, really quick. The joke I just explained to you. Did you think that my old enough to breed joke was appropriate?
I mean, it's not a joke that I would make.
Okay, so honestly. I think it was inappropriate, and that's what I'm trying to make. The context got lost, but it's still an inappropriate joke, and like I think that that's fair.
Do people know you as that person who does those kinds of jokes?
The thing is that we are when we make content, not only the people who know you consume your content. So like people who know me, when it comes down to like takes that I make, they'll understand.
I had that happen where jokes were decontextualized, and
right, and that's all I'm trying to say is that we're in a comedy club. The context is very much there, but like when you're in these platforms, it's different. I do want to talk about the black-owned business one because it means probably the most to me. Because the black-owned business joke was quite literally my turning away from possibly going down like the alt-right pipeline. Okay, so this was towards like the end of my TikTok career where I had been like a very like worthless content creator because I was decent for a while, and I had made this joke where I was like, oh, there's a supermarket they do like they're labeling things like black-owned, women-owned, et cetera, et cetera. And I made this joke. And I thought it was a joke, where I was like, now I know what not to buy from. And then there was this content creator, like a really good friend of mine, his name is Blackbird, right? We talk about a lot of shit, like when I say dumb things. He's a great guy. And he said, Papa God, I know you really well, and it didn't feel like a joke. And that's when I started to really understand my own subconscious bias of like, wow, I'm actually becoming bigoted. So like the way that your jokes come off like can matter. Now, obviously, I'm doing much more loaded shit, but like I wanted to talk about it because you brought it up. And I wanted to make sure that you weren't just bringing it up to try to like throw it out there and try to like pick a shot at me.
Yeah,
I wanted to be able to contextualize.
I'm using it as to contrast you saying that me calling you an incel. Like you said, oh no, like you're hiding behind jokes. So I had to bring in jokes.
I was too, though. I was also hiding behind jokes with that last one.
What does hiding jokes mean to you? Like, it's very clear that my show is a comedy show. I have a fucking cartoon behind me. Like,
well, okay, but like I feel like it's not that clear, even if it is a comedy show, because like there's a lot of people with cartoons as characters. It's like what is it like they're what are they called, like V2 bullshit? I don't know what it's called. A lot of people have like their PFP as some kind of cartoon character.
I'll open it up right now. I'll read what's in my fucking description so you can fucking see it.
Okay.
I make it abundantly clear. My show is a fucking comedy show. I'm a fucking comedian. I think I have it up until recently. I think I had it in my tag.
Dog, your fine print doesn't excuse the shit that you say in your show. You can't just like, well, people should have known that the misinformation I gave on my show actually doesn't matter because it was a joke. Because in my description, I say that it's all jokes. You cover real stories, dude. Like,
yeah.
Just because you have the fucking fine print disclaimer, it doesn't prove anything. It doesn't mean anything. I can fucking, I'd wipe my ass with your fucking YouTube description if I printed it out and didn't have any toilet paper. You know, like it means nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Papa Grut's making a great criticism of Def Noodles, saying that even if you intend it to be a joke, some people don't take it as a joke, and sometimes you get, a lot of the time, you get brand new people coming to the channel who aren't familiar with the previous videos and don't know it's a joke. Obviously, not a lot of people read the description. So, to improve that, maybe you should improve the delivery of the joke to make it more clear that it's a joke, or maybe after words say, oh, that's just a joke, by the way. Anyways, moving on, like something like that. And then he's also bringing up his own personal examples of where he fucked up on that, and then where he can improve as well. So I think he's bringing up a great point to Dennis. I don't know why there's so much like pushback from him. I feel like he should be more receptive to this, but
yeah.
Satire and comedy and all this shit. I just did.
Yeah, but so I make a lot of reaction videos. I make a lot of reaction videos where I
watch my podcast. You watch my podcast. I have 2 people who go in there and impersonate YouTubers every fucking week, and we just make fucking jokes all the fucking time about these YouTubers. And I mean, anybody who watches that and thinks that any of it is real, I mean, it's made.
Okay, but like, so we're kind of going really fast here. Hold on. So, okay, when I do my content, I do humor in my content as well, right? The thing is it doesn't seem like people can tell when you are or aren't making jokes. It sounds more like you speak freely, and then when somebody calls you on something, you go like, well, that was a joke, and you don't understand. But there's nothing in the description of your videos that says joke or comedy.
Yeah, I just saw it. I don't have it anymore. I used to have it. I removed it when I did when I killed the Minecraft cat. But that's actually
Oh,
yeah, I think I removed the whole satire thing from it. But it's still a comedy show.
Damn, he doesn't even do research on his own channel, let alone other fucking stories. God damn.
Nice.
By the way, that was an over-exaggeration. I'm sure he does his due diligence on a lot of stories. See? That's something you could say. You're making a joke, Def Noodles.
I don't know if he does a lot of due diligence.
It depends from story to story. I'm sure some of them have their due diligence in there.
I don't think literally every word he says out of his mouth is a fucking deliberate lie, but I definitely think he's not as nearly as fucking careful. And in some cases, I do think he's deliberately being dishonest.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him be sloppy, but again, I don't watch his content consistently enough to know, like, the percentage of him being sloppy versus not sloppy. And I'm sure there's other stories where he hasn't been sloppy, so I don't want to make that, I don't want to put out that notion that he's sloppy on everything when I don't know for sure, right?
Right.
It's not like anything fucking changed. I just do. It's literally fucking jokes the whole time. I mean, you could go through and see some of the jokes. I made jokes about fucking Candace Owens and the Minnie Mouse thing, and how she's like an expert at fucking kids issues because she got offended by Minnie Mouse. You think that's
an expert at fucking kids? Wait.
I mean, you could go through and see some of the jokes. I made jokes about fucking Candace Owens and the Minnie Mouse thing, and how she's like an expert at fucking kids issues because she got offended by Minnie Mouse. You think that's meant to be a fucking joke? Like,
but I'm assuming that there's a real message behind the joke, right? Like you're trying to make a point about Candace Owens. It's not
like,
incredible. So a lot of times people use jokes to reinforce very real things to make it more palatable for people to be able to absorb.
This is what I used to have in my description. It was Def Noodles is a character created. I mean, it's about satire, like all this bullshit. I'm not gonna read this shit right now. You can go back and to the old videos and see it if you'd like. But my show is a comedy show. I see it from 90% of my comments where people aren't commenting. Like, yes, so people comment on the news that I'm like talking about, but the vast majority of my comments are usually about, oh, I thought this part was funny. Oh, I thought this when he said this, I lost it. Like it's about the joke.
It seems like you're
people commenting, oh, I thought your video was funny. It means that they don't actually take the information that you claim to intend to not be serious seriously. This guy
more of like a drama news channel.
He's just delusional at this point. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. This is so retarded. I've never seen somebody have to like tiptoe around explaining jokes more than this guy, because his jokes, the fact that he even needs to explain them this hard just proves that they aren't funny. And most of them aren't even jokes.
Yeah, the delivery isn't good.
They're just excuses.
If your joke's good and the delivery's good, there shouldn't have to be any explanation behind it.
This is the second major debate this guy has had where he's had to fucking bend backwards to explain how his channel is actually a 5,000 IQ meme, except for the few times that it isn't. But for the most part, it's just a big ass meme, and nothing's really serious. And he's just playing a parody. It's playing a character, and it should be obvious, except for the times that it's not, when it's only a joke that he would get. But it's okay because fuck it, dude. Comedy is there to serve yourself, not the crowd or not the people.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with him being a mixture between a comedy channel and a news channel. But if you're gonna do that, especially if you're talking about serious stories, you gotta make sure the jokes land and you're very clear with everything, because one's a very serious medium versus the other one's a very non-serious medium, and mixing the two, you gotta have a clear distinction between the two, or else there'll be issues.
Well, here's the deal, most publications, even the mainstream news, mix jokes with stories. Like, they will occasionally crack a joke on CNN or on Fox or something like that. But it usually, the structure of how that works is news story, presentation, facts, joke, presentation, closure, ending. Yeah. It's usually how it's done, where it's very obvious when a joke is being cracked, and the joke is usually so outrageous and absurd and given in such an obvious, like, way that it's, the audience isn't like, oh, wow, that's serious information. No, they're usually like, oh, they're cracking a joke. Yes, this is obvious, right? Def Noodles, it's just so all over the place. It's like a fucking fever dream. It's like hard to tell like what the fuck's happening sometimes. Especially given what his excuses are. It's like, he's like, oh, that was a joke. It's like, what? No, it wasn't. He's like, yeah, that was a joke. You just couldn't tell because the context is only something I would understand. It's funny to me. Okay. I mean, if we're taking you seriously, like, even still, that's retarded.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm not criticizing you. And then, like, the jokes would be secondary.
The jokes are not, I've said this over and over again. The jokes are just the news is a setup. It's a springboard for the jokes. That's all it is. It's so I can make the punchline afterwards. That's all it is. The setup is the content that I'm looking at.
Yeah, to reinforce your primary content.
What are you talking about?
Like, yeah, you make jokes within your content, which is about like news. Like you talk about drama news, and then you make jokes to reinforce it.
Sure. Yeah, that's I guess that's one way to look at it.
I think that's the normal way. Because if not, why don't you talk about like WWE wrestling or something, and then make jokes about WWE wrestling?
I talked about WWE wrestling.
No, I mean like specifically because like your stuff is very like drama oriented, which is again fine, but like it seems to be very drama. Like,
you look at the last few. It's news. It's literally
like
fucking news.
Drama news. Like yeah, drama news.
Dude, it's you can see it through whatever lens you want to see it. The last few, like this last video right here, I'll tell you exactly what topics I covered.
Yeah, we got Kanye West, James Charles. These seem like drama people, right?
Candace Owens supporting Kanye West, and then Kanye West calling out Kim Kardashian, Aquafina apologizing for using AAVE, and then Joe Rogan apologizing, and then let's see, that was long. It's a long bit. Oh shit.
I see like a lot of like YouTube sphere drama people
turning around on the Joe Rogan, and then Donald Trump Jr. exposing fucking The Rock for transphobic comments, and then we go into
like a lot of drama news stuff
on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and then we have Keemstar, and then
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so it seems like you drama news and then you use jokes to reinforce it. The only thing I'm saying here is that like
isn't that much different from Weekend Update, from Jon Stewart's Daily Show, from what do you call it, the Colbert Report. It's a regular format.
Well, no. So the way that it feels different is that like you can tell when they're making a joke, and that's not an insult to you.
Exactly.
But, like, I don't think that like berating somebody for 75% of the videos.
What I just explained, right? Like you can tell when a joke. It's very obvious when you're watching stuff like that, right? Like night shows, for instance, right? Like it's very obvious. Like, and obviously most of the jokes aren't very funny. But it's obvious that they're making a joke. It's obvious that it's not serious, right? It shouldn't have to be a challenge for the viewers to figure out whether or not things are being serious or things are being joking.
Yeah, he just genuinely needs to improve his delivery, and like, if he's serious about like being a comedian and his main occupation being a comedian and like studying comedy or whatever, and he said he's not perfect, he should be open to the criticism that the delivery is clearly not landing with people. It isn't just like my opinion. Like it's been like shown that it's not landing with everyone. You know, in life you can always improve on everything, even your main craft. So if you want to be a better comedian, maybe you should like double check and look into that and maybe improve your delivery going forward. Not necessarily the joke itself, but like the delivery of it.
People are pointing out, like, on night shows, they'll always have laugh tracks, right? But even without the laugh track, it's obvious to tell what a joke, when a joke is being said or not. All the laugh track really does is just reinforce a joke and make it appear funnier than it usually actually is, especially on night shows where the jokes suck. You know, they kind of need a laugh track to sort of give the illusion that what they're saying is actually funny. So, yeah. Let me continue.
It doesn't offend me. It's just it does show that I think that you're not making a joke. I think that you're being very serious, and then when you get called on it, you're kind of just walking back like, well, it's just a joke. I don't really. But like, how is it? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying it just doesn't come off as a joke. I mean, that's just.
So the thing is, here's the thing. A lot of people like to say humor is subjective, right?
Sure.
Maybe the joke's not written for you. That's what it is.
So who's the joke for? People who don't like me?
I mean, clearly, I have 600,000 subscribers, so there's a joke for someone. Yeah. So
okay.
And I'm not saying to flex. I'm saying clearly there are people who identify with the jokes.
There are people who identify with your content. And they probably identify with like the hateful speech that you promote.
Papa Gut's nailing him here. Just because he has 600,000 subs doesn't mean they're subbing to him for his fucking jokes, right? If I had to guess, they're probably subbing to him, I don't know, for the news. For the shit that he covers and reports. That's kind of how he got a big following on Twitter. That's kind of how he got promoted by various journalists, including Ethan Klein. Not saying he's a journalist, but like he also got promoted by Ethan Klein. You know, he kind of got a name for himself based on the stories that he covered. Nobody subbed to him because he was this funny cat guy or something, right? Like, no. They subbed to him because they were interested to hear what he had to say. And to be fair to him, he did break a lot of stories, which gave him attention and exposure, right? So that's why they subbed to him, because they're like, this guy is a trusted source of news. Foolishly, by the way, but that's realistically why they subbed to him.
Exactly.
About the shit, and you're like, you want to die on this hill. You want to discredit me as a comedian.
No. I'm not trying to discredit you as a comedian. I'm really not trying to do that.
No. Be honest right now. This is exactly what you're doing. You're trying to discredit me.
How do you know that I'm doing that? You don't know what's in my heart. Do you see how this? Do you see how that?
I mean, I'm just looking.
You see how it's a very like it's a weird perspective to take.
This is different. I'm having a conversation with you
because you don't know what's in my heart right now. So like, listen, I'm trying to. I'm just.
Let me fucking talk.
I'm not discrediting you as a comedian.
No, listen, let me fucking talk. You have been asking certain questions. We are having a conversation right now. What you just did is extremely disingenuous because you got something that I said. You're basing assumptions off of a video that's been completely finished that I'm not having a conversation. I can't rebut what the person is saying. I'm not here with the B family as you're making their video saying, so wait, why the fuck did you just say this? Why the fuck did you just say this? Why did you say this? Like, it's
so you don't think you can, okay, we're going in circles. The point was is that I don't think people really follow you necessarily because you're a comedian based as 100%. They probably enjoy some of the jokes you make.
How many videos have you watched?
Huh?
You said in one of your videos, you said you only watched 2 of my videos.
I've watched a couple of your videos. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're basing your entire assumption about all of my work on 2 videos.
So you're saying that those 2 videos just weren't funny?
You're basing the value that I give my audience based on 2 videos you watched.
But you're basing on the audience reaction. You don't necessarily need to watch Def Noodles content to know what Def Noodles fans or why Def Noodles fans watch him.
Well, it's just logical, right? Like, why are all these people sub to him? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I've seen the comment section of Def Noodles videos. You know, I had a little minor beef with him, and I saw like comments from his fans and stuff on my videos, and I've watched a couple of his videos. It's clear that they watch him for the news first and for comedy second.
Right.
It's just, and it's how his videos are structured too.
You could probably make a better argument that more people watch me for like the funny bits than the actual like commentary. No, I don't think that's true, but I think you could make a better argument in my channel's case than his for sure. I mean, this guy is literally promoted, or well, he used to be. I don't know if he still is anymore, but he was promoted by journalists as a great source of news. He broke. Even Kat Tenbarge acknowledges, and Kat Tenbarge doesn't even like him now, but even she acknowledges that he broke a ton of the fucking James Charles story before they even got a hold of it, right? So it's obvious to me and to anybody else that this guy got a following because of the news shit, not the fucking comedy.
Milliman funded $5.
And he really wants to be a comedian. I can tell. He really wants to, or at the very least, if he is, let's say that he is already, he wants the audience to think that. He wants to like think in his head that they sub to me because I'm Dennis, the funny comedian. But that's just not reality. And he's just denying it. And it's kind of sad, to be honest, to watch this. Look, just be a fucking YouTuber, man. There's no shame in it, right? Just be a fucking YouTuber. You know, tell some jokes, maybe work on it or something. Maybe eventually you can elevate to the levels of great comedian that you maybe fantasize about being, and maybe you fantasize about being since you were a child. I don't know. I'm just being an asshole right now, but like, you know, it's possible you can get there, but you're certainly not there at this point.
Also, the reason a lot of people come to channels is obviously based on the title and thumbnail, because that's like the first thing they see. So when you're looking at a Def Noodles video, you see that it like has the news story in the title, blah, 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 all of this shit. But like, I think a good example of like a commentary news channel that's primarily comedy would have been Leafy, you know, when he makes a video about Pokemon, people find out what Pokemon did, but the video is titled like, Pokemon got Pokemon LOL, bye, see ya, and like, obviously like, the way he talks about it in the video is like very lighthearted, and it's different. He's more like, I see Leafy as primarily comedy and then secondary news, whereas people watch Def Noodles 100% for the news, and that's the way he promotes his content. In terms of, you know, thumbnail and title and all that.
So keep it up, Def Noodles. Keep up the good work, and maybe one day you'll be just as good as Leafy. Oh, man.
I'm not saying Leafy's a great news source, by the way. I'm just saying that clearly his channel...
Now, people watch Leafy to figure out what fucking drugs he's on. That's why they watch him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Def Noodles seems to have this misconception that he's... At least he tries to be comedy first, news second, but people definitely watch him for the other way around.
They watch Def Noodles because he's America first, all right? That's why they watch him. All right.
Have comments come in all the time. I see all of my analytics. I see what parts of the video hit, what parts of the video don't. I see exactly when people click out of the video. I see exactly when people comment, what they comment. I see how long people watch. I see all of that. I know my audience. Otherwise, I wouldn't make content.
But the thing is that you're saying that you know your audience, and like if they resonate with,
like I said, you started this. You started this whole thing.
Okay.
You got to just say it. You got offended that I called you an incel. I changed it.
I didn't.
Right? At the end of the day, you got offended. You got offended that I called you an incel, and that's totally fine.
But I didn't get.
And it's totally fine if that offended you.
It's a really weird game that you're playing right now, where you're trying to tell me that I'm offended by something to try to discredit my perspective rather than to engage with what I'm saying.
Sorry, you're mad, bro. He's not mad. He's explaining to you why it's retarded and why what you're doing is priming the audience to already have this conception of you that doesn't exist. What Papa Gut is saying is that you're telling your audience that he's some crazy fucking wacko incel who obviously, of course he's supporting the kid who called the 15-year-old girl, you know, all those things because he doesn't like women. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's
and then
what
even
Papa Gut's
earlier in the
explaining.
conversation, I don't know if he brought up in the video about Papa Gut because I didn't watch it, but even earlier in the conversation, he's like, "Oh, what about that joke you made about trans people on TikTok? What about the like, I don't know, what was it like? If they can breed joke or whatever." Like, obviously, he's trying to paint a certain picture of Papa Gut to his audience before going into, you know, his opinions.
Yeah. I mean, I just explained it perfectly there, right? But for some reason, Def Noodles really doesn't want to get into this conversation because he thinks that it invalidates his fucking comedy career. That doesn't exist. I'm sorry, dude. Look, I know you really want to be considered a fucking great YouTube comedian or something like that. At this rate, it's never gonna happen, dude. You're just not funny. You're just not fucking funny. I'm sorry, man, but it's just the truth. And somebody needs to fucking tell you, man. And I think Papa Gut's in a nice way trying to sort of explain elements of that, but somebody just needs to flat out tell you, dude, you fucking suck, bro. You're not funny. You bastardize comedy to cover your ass when you get shit wrong. I mean, really, the most offensive person to comedy is you. You use comedy like your fucking bitch as an excuse to solve all of your fucking problems. If you want to know the truth, I mean, that's really what you're doing. You bastardize the entire fucking genre. And to be honest, it's disgusting. So yeah, how do you feel about that, buddy?
At the end of the day, you got offended by that, and you tried to say that I hide behind comedy.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Wait, after this conversation, do you think I slandered the B family?
I mean, I think to an extent, yes.
Why?
Because of what you said to the daughter. You said at one point in your video, you said this about the daughter. You said, she's a shit person, and I'm paraphrasing, but you said it in your first video response to me. She's a shit person because she comes from shit parents, and you even go on this whole diatribe about how she's going to grow up miserable and be an awful person, how all of her friends don't like her, and they're just around her because she's famous. You go on all this shit. You say all this, you're telling me that's a joke?
Do you think, oh no, like I'm serious, I think that's actually gonna happen.
No.
Okay, I disagree. She's a 15-year-old girl. Cut her some slack. Like, how much can you really say? But that's not slander. That's just his opinion. A negative opinion, harsh opinion, but it's still his opinion. It's not what slander means.
Yeah.
You're telling me is that a fucking joke, or you just decided to tear this 15-year-old apart?
You know, like, I genuinely, so I
for somebody that engages in it so much, he really doesn't seem to have like a firm grasp of what it actually is. It's probably true though. Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm just a moral fig or whatever, but cut her some breaks. She's a 15-year-old girl who's literally obviously being used by her parents at the end of the day for content, right? You have no idea what she or even the brother is going to grow up to be like. I mean, they're kids, right? I don't know. Anyway.
I think that it's much worse to call somebody a rapist, a predator, and a pedophile when they're not than it is to like anything else.
Bring it back to this.
Because it's relevant. It comes to the intentions of what I'm saying. I was too harsh, which I admitted, but I do think that she's going to unfortunately grow up very sheltered and going to have a problem communicating with people because she was so young.
Okay, that's probably true.
Because you see people that are drug addicts that like you see like kid celebrities turn into drug addicts.
Right now, you're having a conversation with me. So why have you had a conversation with her? Why don't you interview her and ask her instead of just jumping to these wild conclusions?
Wait, why don't you interview her and ask her?
Are you going to become a drug addict?
This is just such a bizarre.
Yeah, what kind of interview is that? Do you think your parents are just emotionally torturing you? No? Oh, okay. Never mind. All right. She's clear. Like, what kind of interview is that? I don't know. And also, like, even with the parents, it's like, if he has a conversation with the parents and he's like, I think this is abusive the way you use your children for content. I think this is wrong. Obviously, the parents are going to disagree with that. So what? Does he now have to back off of his like conclusion there? Because, well, I mean, I talked to the parents and they disagreed with me. So it's good now. Like, no, like what is a conversation? It's just his opinion at the end of the day. And his opinion is based off the fact that kids that are put in media at a young age, child actors, for instance, right, tend to grow up to have fucked up lives. Look at Michael Jackson, for instance, right? He was fucked, okay, from childhood. That's just one example. I don't know. That's basically what if I had to guess what he's like implying there, it's basically something along those lines. And to be fair, he has a lot of historical precedents on his side. So, I mean, it's not entirely unfound what he's saying.
are, that every single time that you do something in a misrepresenting way, it's just a joke and it's okay and you can speculate up and down. But the second that I bring it to and try to make a point, context doesn't matter. It's so weird.
It's dishonest.
I'm not being dishonest, man. Like you're being you're taking everything very personally. I suggested at one point that like people were missing your jokes and you're using jokes to hide, and you thought I was attacking you for being a bad comedian. I don't think you're a bad comedian, man. But like you're taking these things so personally.
No, I do. I think he's a bad comedian. I've seen his fucking stand-up. It fucking sucks, dude. But I might be a little bit biased in that take.
Stephen Colbert recently made a joke that Donald Trump Jr. was, and actually made a very similar joke. So he made a joke about Donald Trump Jr. Actually, he does it. It's not even Donald Trump Jr. It's the other kid, Eric, that he does. He like flips over. He's like talking like that, and he says that he's been disowned by his dad, that he's like the putz and whatever. He like makes fun of him for all these things. You think Stephen Colbert is hiding behind jokes there? Like he's actually shaming this man's mental state, and he's just hiding behind a joke. You think that?
I'm confused. So
I mean, you can say that. My point right now is that you can say that about literally every fucking comedian. You think that Jimmy Kimmel, whenever he shows a video of Trump nowadays, he says, you know, folks, I made a promise. Every time I show Trump, I'm going to show him also naked. And then he gets a person who's and he shows Trump naked. And then you think he's body shaming Trump when he does that? He's just hiding behind a joke. You think that?
Probably. Like, yeah, there's truth to jokes. Like he's probably making a shot at joke that he doesn't like, or Trump. He doesn't like Trump. And that's what.
So to you, there's no jokes.
There's no jokes. Do you think that Jimmy Kimmel likes Donald Trump?
I mean. Obviously not.
Okay, why is it obvious if he's just making jokes? Because the jokes have real impact. Like that's the only point I'm trying to make.
He said he doesn't like Donald Trump.
Okay.
You go through his show. He says he
he doesn't like Donald Trump, and then he makes jokes about Donald Trump. So those jokes are connected to him disliking him. So we have a direct association between like.
He made jokes about Matt Damon for fucking years.
But those jokes weren't like negative jokes. Those were like silly.
Oh, sorry, man. We can't have Matt Damon today. He's a fucking idiot. He couldn't be here. Okay. Oh, he got here fucking late.
Yeah. Well, I think that like.
You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I really, oh man,
you find comedy, and you have no. Your jokes are if she bleeds, she breathes. If she can breathe.
See, I knew it. You just brought those up to try to deplatform me. It's a pathetic move.
I'm not trying to deplatform you. I'm fucking.
You literally, like I literally explained why that was wrong, and your perspective is that joke was appropriate. You made the point that you thought that joke was okay, even though I disavowed the joke and tried to explain context, and now you're sitting here trying to deplatform me on it. You have an incredibly disingenuous mind. Everything that you say is so bad faith, and I'm expected to sit here while you yell for 75% of the debate. And like your whole thing is like you're trying to. No, hold on. The whole thing is you're trying to get me upset, even though you've been crying the entire time. Especially when I suggested you weren't a good comedian.
Where are the fucking tears? Tell me where the fucking tears are.
The second that I suggested that you weren't a good comedian because people don't understand your comedy, you melted down.
That's right, because he's insecure.
So he's not funny.
He really isn't.
These blanket fucking statements. People don't understand my comedy, and yet look at my
funny.
Look at my fucking following. If people don't understand it,
because they follow you because they like how hateful you are.
Let me ask you a question. Is comedy subjective?
Yes, it is subjective.
Exactly. So shut the fuck up.
Okay, you're right. That means that Killick was making a joke. Shut the fuck up. Boom. That's it. Your whole narrative proves that Killick was joking. You're agreeing that Killick is actually okay.
Hey, if Def Noodles is now on the side that comedy is subjective, then when he pulls up like screenshots of me tweeting the Confederate flag and saying that it's based, and he pulls up screenshots of me saying the N-word and shit, well, I mean, comedy is subjective, dude.
Smoothie Reviews funded $5. Be careful.
Because Def Noodles was the guy that was making the arguments that my jokes about the Confederate flag or the N-word lead to real-world harm and shit like that. That's just subjective comedy, dude. Sorry. So it's just so funny to me that now Def is like the big free speech guy, the big comedy subjective guy, when like a year ago he was completely fucking different.
It's harassing a 15-year-old girl. Your logic is that it's okay for Killick to sexually harass a 15-year-old girl. It's just a joke. Literally, your own logic is like fucking rape apologist rhetoric. It's incredible. I don't understand how you could sit here and you could spew cognitive dissonance, talk about how you being intentionally hateful is just a joke, but the second that a 17-year-old black kid does it, all of a sudden it's not a joke, and like it's a whole fucking meltdown. It's insane. I don't even think that you have the mental capacity to understand how fucking unintelligent you are here. It's mind-blowing. Either you are the most disingenuous, morally dysfunctional dumb fuck I've ever met, or what is this? I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening here. Listen. I'm okay with you taking this out of context intentionally, but this is insane.
Let me say something right now. Okay, let me say something.
Yeah, say something.
Let me say something. Oh yeah, no comedian has ever been fucking sane. Okay, if you knew half of what I went through in my fucking life, you'd be surprised that I'm able to fucking speak right now.
Wait. So do you think that? Wait. Do you think that it was a joke that Killick made?
Dude, Def Noodles is a hard motherfucker. All right. You can tell because now he makes videos about fucking YouTube drama, dude. He's been through the emotional trenches. He's been psychologically bullying nerds since middle school. Okay, this guy's a hard motherfucker. Okay.
Context. Do I have to explain to you what context?
Do you think he seriously thought she was a porn star?
He's not.
First off, he seriously thought that she was a porn star?
Getting banged.
Do you think
that's what he said?
Do you think that he thinks that? Wait, hold on. This is the context. Do you think that he thinks that? What's the context?
There's context to shit. There's context.
What's the context? Do you think that he actually thinks that she's a porn star getting gangbanged?
Never go unless you acknowledge that there's context. You said if somebody makes this joke on SNL, it's clear because it's a joke. I run a comedy show.
Yeah, and it's not clear.
I run a fucking comedy show. It's not because the joke.
You keep hitting off the main point.
Well, actually, okay. The joke is clear because he runs a comedy show, And he has subjectively applied his own morals to just comedy in general, so therefore the joke is fine because he's decided that his comedy show rules are universal. Okay.
To be autistic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I mean, he's just not aware of how other people interpret his jokes.
Yeah.
It's just autism 101. I don't
Assuming
know,
he's telling the truth, I don't buy the joke argument anyway. I think it's bullshit. But, I mean, assuming he's telling the truth here, Jesus. Can I? There we go.
Make joke.
I said it's context.
What's the context? Do you think he actually thinks he's a porn star?
He was saying mean things to get under someone's skin.
You did the same thing to me. I don't understand. It's so weird. It's like this incredible cognitive dissonance here. It's so crazy, man. I don't know.
It's not cognitive dissonance. It's fucking. It's called. What? Explain it to me then. What is it?
It's cognitive dissonance. It's you applying two different moral sets of values based on who you're talking about.
It's context. Yes, dude, you're being so fucking dishonest right now.
No, I'm not. But the problem is I'm being so like commonsensical and clear spoken.
Look, listen. So is there a difference between Trump going and making jokes about Nancy Pelosi's appearance at his rallies versus Jimmy Kimmel making jokes about Donald Trump's appearance?
You think that both of them dislike the person that they're making the hateful jokes about?
Whether they like it or dislike it, that's not the fucking point.
That is literally what context is. Do you know what context is? That is literally context. I don't understand. You keep saying the word context.
You're being so incredibly disingenuous.
No, I'm not. I don't even think you know what disingenuous means. I think that the problem here is you don't understand what context means because literally they're making hateful jokes towards people they don't like and they don't like them. So it's a reasonable assumption that they're making them because they don't like the person.
Context, bro. It's a fucking context.
And guess what? They're still jokes. They're just shitty jokes. Just like Hillick's joke was a shitty joke, but it was still a joke. Unless you think unironically that he thought that she was a porn star getting fucking gangbanged with BBC.
He was saying, I said this in my original video.
Just because you say a thing doesn't mean it's right. Like, I don't understand.
Way too fucking long. I had to be somewhere else.
Clearly, you didn't have to be anywhere, and that was just an excuse to get off the conversation as soon as possible.
I got a text message about it, you fucking asshole.
So why didn't you say, listen, I have a personal business thing to go off into? Like, this didn't devolve until like 40 minutes in, and you're sitting like 20 minutes.
Why are you always jumping to fucking conclusions?
I'm not. I'm actually not even doing that. I think that like you are not used to getting called out on like the bullshit.
I'm not.
This is fucking brutal, man. I mean, Papa Gut's doing an A+ job right now, just exposing not just Def Noodle's insecurities, but just like the flaws in his arguments altogether. I mean, he's not really letting Def slide here. I mean, he's getting frustrated, Def is, because his bullshit isn't working. He's just screaming, but the context, dude, but the context, bro. He doesn't even know what he's fucking talking about.
He's doing this debate perfectly because he like had casual conversation, gave Def Noodles the benefit of the doubt that he could have an intellectual conversation. Then after like everything was exhausted in that department, he just started laying down the facts, giving him harsh reality.
Yeah.
I think Papa Gut's doing an amazing job. I don't think I would have done as good of a job as him.
Yeah, no, I mean he's focused. That's the number one goal if you're gonna ever debate somebody or get into an argument with them. Keep focus, right? Don't get fucking caught up in these stupid fucking semantic words like, but the context, dude. No. What is the context? Just stay focused on that and you'll always win. Because at the end of the day, what Def is saying is bullshit, right?
Not getting called out on my bullshit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you don't take full accountability or true accountability for everything.
You realize how many people make fucking videos calling me out all the fucking time?
Yeah, probably. Why do you think they do?
Just because people make videos calling you out all the time doesn't mean that you're taking accountability. It just means that other people are holding you to accountability themselves. So just because people criticize you doesn't mean that you're somehow good at taking criticism, right? How often does Def Noodles respond or talk about the criticism that he gets? Probably not a lot. And I base this because I do a lot of videos calling Def Noodles out, and he never really responds to me. He did once to debate me, but that was the last time I ever heard of him. That was a year ago, right? I've done multiple videos since then. He's never really like talked about it or responded to it or argued with me about it or responded about it at all. I don't know. Does he do that to other people? Am I just a sore spot for him? Does he ignore everyone else? Again, just because multiple people call you out doesn't mean that you're good at taking accountability. It just means that multiple people are calling you out.
So you just discredited yourself. You just said you don't know what it feels like to be called out, and I literally
I do. I get called out all the time on TikTok. What are you talking about?
You just literally contradicted yourself.
How?
You said you don't know what it feels like. You said this to me. Okay, stop for a second and breathe. You said to me, you don't know what it feels like to get called out.
I never said that.
You know, yes, you did.
If I said that, then I didn't mean it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I said, do you have any understanding how many people make videos about me every fucking day? And you said, yes. I know a lot of people, or something to that effect.
Okay,
yes, people make
sure.
videos. So, yes, I understand what it's like to be called out.
No, but why do you think that they make the videos that they make?
I could open Twitter right now, and there are going to be hundreds of tweets of people calling me everything, saying everything, all their thoughts about me, and that's perfectly fine.
No, okay? I know, but like, listen, from the perspective that I come from, is like people have called me out very seriously on TikTok, and like a lot, not all of them were correct.
Because you said some fucked up shit. You're here offended that I called you an incel.
I'm not offended.
shit. What do you expect?
Bro, I'm not here because you call me an incel. I'm here because you completely remove the entire context of what I was saying originally about Killick, and that is that he's being intentionally matured to overpunish him. Like, I don't care that you call me an incel.
Oh my god, dude. Def is such a weasel here. You're here because you're mad that I called you an incel, despite you saying fucked up things on TikTok. What? He's just making up arguments for himself, dude. This is a fucking straw man. He's literally just making random shit up. Except the problem is that generally when you straw man your opponent, they're not supposed to actually be there and be able to instantly correct you. Generally, when you straw man somebody, it's like on your own platform when they're not around to, call you out for it, right? So he's just full on failing to even. He's not even in reality anymore. Like, he's just fucking mad cause bad. Like, literally, like that's what Def's doing right now. He's just mad cause bad. Weak.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point? You're bringing that back around. What's the point?
This is the problem: is you're making an incorrect assertion that I care about the incel thing, and then I say like, no, you're wrong. This was my problem. You say we already talked about that. That's just a way for you to pass off criticism. Like, I don't understand.
And also, it's not like that. Papa Gut was mad that he got called an incel. He was more mad that Def Noodles was establishing an image of Papa Gut in his audience's mind that doesn't exist. That he's some weird, crazy neckbeard, woman-hating freak on Twitch. He's not. He's married. He's not some anti-woman person or something like that. He's just a fucking regular guy who had a problem with Def's video. But Def portrays him as some crazy fucking incel, fucking... And I know my chat's like, oh, incel's base or whatever. Most normal people don't think that, right? So he's mad that Def is presenting this idea in his audience's head that is entirely not true to the situation. That's why he's upset. He's not upset that like, oh, you called me a mean name that I didn't like. It's a little bit deeper than that. And he already explained that, but for some reason this fucking retard can't figure it out. Who just joined?
It's just me. It's
fuck you.
And you're listening to what I'm saying.
How about that's not criticism?
Because every time I bring something up for context, which is your favorite word, you don't seem to let it become a thing. It's like, oh no, we talked about that. Yeah, but it's relevant because you're not acknowledging. We're not here because you called me an incel.
Tell me what I did not acknowledge.
You just said I'm upset. You said that.
What did I not acknowledge? Tell me.
You said that we're here because I'm upset that you called me an incel. But that's not why we're here.
At this point of the conversation.
No. What? I don't care about that. I'm so confused.
You spent the last 20 minutes speculating that I'm not a comedian, that I
didn't actually say
hurt you and misrepresent you, harm your entire reputation by calling you an incel.
No, I don't think you can harm my reputation. I don't think that you have the credibility to ruin my reputation. No.
Oh, yo. Dude, fuck anyone who says this debate is boring or uninteresting. This is the fucking best shit I've ever fucking seen. Dude, this year, 2022. Chat, I tried to explain this to y'all. 2022 is the year of the fucking chud, all right? Magic is happening this year, all right? And we're witnessing it right now. I mean, holy shit, dude, finally. All right.
That's not what I was saying. I said that some of your jokes get lost in translation. Maybe they're not. Maybe you need to work on the way that you push jokes.
Why are you so that I called you an incel?
Oh, because I have trauma from you calling me an incel. Because words hurt and I'm going to kill myself if you don't take it back.
The fact that ironically just now makes sense why you felt so comfortable ridiculing a 15-year-old girl for feeling that.
It seems like you're fishing for. It seems like you came into this conversation so that you can intentionally try to rile me up, so that I would say things that make you look dumb, so that you can cut them up out of context. Like, you've literally poisoned the well multiple times. I'm really trying.
What the fuck are you even talking about? How do you even know what I don't even know what I'm saying?
You don't know what's in my heart. I'm having a conversation with you, just like you said before. I can make
look into his
heart,
but
because like you're being so dishonest, man. I'm really trying to have real conversations.
I like how when Def gets called out, he's like, how could you possibly know that that's what I'm doing, right? I don't know. Half the shit you've said, like, nobody could possibly know why these things happen. Like, what are you saying now?
And in his response to so many people that criticize him or he goes after, he cuts out context all the time. He literally admitted that he cut out context about the B family story in his last video, where he was criticizing Papa Gut. He definitely cut out context responding to my response video to him, which is why I didn't fucking respond, because, like, at that point, it's like, why would I even, like, watching my response video debunks his response video to that video, because there's the context in there. So he does that all the time.
This is so.
Can I just ask a serious question?
Yeah, sure.
How the fuck do you expect to, just continue having or growing your following when all you do is make extremely dishonest leaps of logic, shift the goalpost all the fucking time?
When did I shift the goalpost?
Mad?
You're literally
mad.
You're literally trying to fucking. You won't admit that you got offended because I did something. I conceded that. I said, okay.
No, but I don't care. But that's not the point of it. I don't care about that. I'm so. Can you just answer when I shift the goalpost?
I said that I was going to.
These are words that I use against you. Are you just regurgitating? What is shifting the goalpost mean?
At the beginning of my next video and address the fact that I didn't.
Yeah, and then I was like, and then when you were saying that, I was like, bro, don't beat yourself up. I don't really care about that.
What else do you want?
I said from the start, I was like, bro.
So at this point, what Dev's saying has like no fucking logical like following or anything like that. He's just fucking spamming words right now because he's literally just mad. Like, that's basically what's happening right now. He's just word spamming because he's mad.
Oh, you don't have to even mention me. I'm really more focused on what you said about
what else do you want? Just make it abundantly clear for everyone, please.
Okay.
What else do you
I'll
want?
make it abundantly clear. I've said this multiple times in this conversation. What I said is, I don't really care if you mention me or apologize to me. I don't care. My main, like, I'm trying to talk and you're going. My only thing I would really like it if you did was you just brought up the issue where the B family intentionally misrepresented his age. You're not even letting me finish. You asked me what you wanted clearly from me, and you won't even let me finish.
I said that I'm going to do this. I said this an hour ago.
Okay, but you just asked me to re-clarify. I'm just doing what you asked, and you're having a meltdown.
I'm not having a meltdown.
Man.
At this point, I'm just extremely annoyed that this is like the most low IQ, dumb, idiot conversation I've ever had in my entire life.
I tend to agree.
Now I'm actually.
So now he's just fucking calling him unintelligent, right? Wow, what a real mature stand-up guy.
You know what's unintelligent? Asking someone to clarify a point, then interrupting them and not caring halfway through the clarification. That's low IQ.
I'm actually insulting this conversation. I'm a part of it, so I'm insulting myself. So don't feel insulted. Okay, so, I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking
idiot. Can you just tell me how I shifted the goalpost though before?
Another point I agree with him though. He is an idiot. I got to say that's like the fourth thing he said that I agree with, along with the other things he said. You know, I'm retarded. My jokes don't land. I suck. You know, these are statements he said in the past that I agree with, and that would probably be the fourth one that I agree with.
I don't even remember. This conversation has been going on for an hour.
But you just said that I shifted the goalpost, man. Like, what does that mean to you?
Hey, man, I don't fucking know. At this point,
but that's you literally said that I keep shifting the goalpost. What did I shift in the goalpost?
This is getting ridiculousness that I never even.
Jesus Christ, this guy's delusional.
Can imagine the conversation could reach. I hope that your audience is enjoying it because this must be terrific fucking entertainment.
Hold on. I will donate 5.
So now he's just coping. He's like, well, I hope the entertainment's good. So now he's just basically admitted that he lost, and he's just like, well, whatever.
Oh my god.
He's just trying to fucking scrape anything he can at this point. So literally, we've entered the coping phase of the conversation.
I hope he looks back on this convo and it's like a wake up call for his behavior, but I doubt it.
To be fair, but he did issue an apology today. I don't know if it's like a meme or if it's serious or not, but we will take a look at it when we're done with this.
Yeah, we'll take a look at, because he did say he was going to apologize for the incel comment, so I don't know if the apology in his next video is like about the incel comment or if he makes a more thorough, well thought out apology about like him admitting defeat in this debate. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Actually, me and Doc actually watched it on stream. It's about this video.
All right. Well, we'll see it here as well.
The audience of your choosing, if you could just tell me how I shifted the goalpost.
Bro, I have to go back and rewatch this whole thing.
Bro, you just said I shifted the goalpost. How are you going to make absurd claims? I just said I would give $5 grand to a charity. Okay. You don't care enough about charity to defend your point? You do really just exposes your whole line of logic, right?
You know what? I'll take back that I said that.
That's your whole entire thing. That's everything. Everything you said is based on when you get pressed on
any concession.
Holy shit. He's immediate. Oh my god.
So first he loses his mind, then he copes, now the concession.
I've never seen someone lose a debate this hard.
This is pretty brutal, man.
Because it isn't just losing because he's like spurging or whatever, because a lot of people think like if people scream or whatever, that's an automatic loss. But like actually the point, like Papa Gut's like completely deconstructing him live. This is insane.
Yeah, literally.
Slight way, you fold. This is pathetic. You just folded. You just folded.
What's your fucking point? What do you want me to do?
I want you to. I remember. In all honesty, what I would like you to do.
Hold on, dude.
I'd like you to stop being dishonest. I'd like you to just stop being so dishonest.
What the fuck are you even talking about being dishonest?
You just lied and said I shipped the goalpost, and then you're like, I take it back because you can't.
I don't remember when. You want me to go sit through and go through?
That is dishonest.
I'll go back and go through.
It should. If you were listening to what I was saying and I shifted the goalpost, it should have been pretty easy to be like, oh, that's where you shifted the goalpost. How can you have an opinion that I did a thing without any foundation for the opinion?
I had other things. We've been in this conversation for an hour and 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot. You may have said something at the beginning of the conversation that I thought. And
what did I say? You can't just say you may. You're making these weird assertions that I did a thing I didn't do. Like I
literally just said you're just
very disingenuous.
Confrontational right now.
I really don't want to be confrontational.
Dude, look, I'll take back. I said I'll take that the fuck back. What do you want me to do? I take it back. You're like, you folded, and then you're like, no, but you said no, but prove it. No, but this. So I don't know what the fuck.
No, but this is okay. Listen. I think it's a really bad thing.
No, hold on.
I don't want to get you. I don't want to.
Hold on. Okay, you got me to come on your fucking show. I'm here. Okay, I agree.
Wasn't really my intention, man. I mean,
I agree with the fucking family. Okay, I agree with that. That's totally fucking fine. I'm gonna retract it in my next fucking video at the beginning of the video. That's totally fucking fine. Okay, we agreed on several things.
That little line there, you got me to come on your fucking show, whatever. Like, it's almost indicative of how he thinks about like going on other people's shows, because he did the same thing with me when he went on my channel. Like initially he refused to go on it because he didn't want to give me donations or clout or whatever way I would benefit from it. I guess views and shit like that. He didn't want to, grace me with that basically, right? So now it's almost like he's doing the same thing with Papa Gut, right? He's like, whatever, I gave you your fucking epic debate. I gave you your base video or something. Fuck you. That type of attitude. It's just so fucking pretentious, I guess. I don't know what other word to put it as. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I wasted my time with you and your low, you know, peasantry or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too into it there, but that's just almost how it comes across as.
Now, what's even the fucking point of keeping this conversation going?
Okay.
You got offended by the incel shit. I changed that shit. What's your fucking point? You're gonna
why do you think I was offended by that? I'm so confused.
Let me fucking finish. If I respond to something, you're like, no, you're doing this. And then if I say, okay, well, I agree. You know, I'll take this back. You're like, no, now you folded. Now you're hiding behind comedy. Now this and that. Look, dude, here's the thing.
Okay.
You want to have this conversation, that's totally fine. We had it. But at this point, there's nothing productive coming out of it. If your audience is enjoying the show, yeah, we can keep going, screaming at each other. That's totally fine.
Can I ask you one question?
They can enjoy this. I don't mind fucking screaming and giving people a fucking show. At the end of the day, like I fucking said, I'm an entertainer. As a comedian, I've been trained for people to laugh at me or with me, regardless of the fucking context. I've done enough shit where like I know how to play.
I'm just being
second fiddle. I know how to be the main guy. I know how to be the voice of reason. I know how to be the character. Whatever the fuck it is, I don't give a fucking shit.
God, even in the middle of a screaming argument, he has to bring up the fact that he is a comedian who has comedic knowledge and experience. It's like, who are you trying to like again, like just the obsession with just reminding everybody of his, you know, quote unquote superiority, right? Like, and to be fair, a lot of comedians actually do this. A lot of comedians think they're hot shit because they are comedians and they have like this bloated ego. They think they're like fucking God's gift to earth because they're a fucking comedian, and therefore they have like an expansive knowledge of the language and jokes, and just human psychology and stuff like that. And they really don't. So, I mean, it's not just him. It is a negative trait. Like, he's got all the negative traits of a comedian and none of the positive. That's really what it is.
At the end of the day, here's the thing. What else do you want to accomplish with this conversation? Because I actually came on here with at least the minimum goal of accomplishing something, and we're at the 90-minute mark almost. Okay. And there's literally, like, I'm missing shit that I have to be doing. I literally miss shit that I have to be doing. So I need to know that there's like some ending.
Can I just give my ending here?
Instead of trying to discredit me as a comedian and say that I hide behind jokes and all that stupid bullshit, when you clearly only watched 2 of my videos. So I need to know what else do you want? Okay.
So can I? Listen, first and foremost, I didn't come here to have like a scream match. It truly wasn't my intention. Okay.
That's fine. I don't give a shit.
But I do. Like I do care about that.
I don't give a flying fuck. This is funny to me. It's fucking hilarious. I think it's fucking hilarious that we're 2 guys sitting here in rooms across the fucking country yelling at each other like fucking idiots about the stupidest fucking shit in the world.
I don't think it's that stupid. No, but it's not really that stupid because like from my perspective, this is like a very loaded social issue.
Oh man, because I called him a fucking incel. It's fucking hilarious to me. Bro. Now, at the end of the day,
bro,
I just want to.
Can I just say? Hold on. I
have to fucking.
I know. Just give me 2 minutes. Listen, listen, bro. When you say that this was all over like bullshit, like I honestly, like to me, this is over like, you know, the diminishment of sexual assault survivors and victims, pedophilia survivors and victims, you know, just due to like their overreaction. And honestly, I do genuinely think that there's an aspect here of overmaturing a young black boy to make him seem like a man so they get overprescribed punishment. No. My point is to me, that's not like a dumb deal. That's a big deal. And you're saying that this is a stupid conversation, but like that's what I'm trying to relay.
No. That's said the conversation devolved.
You realize it did devolve.
20 minutes yelling at each other over literally fucking nothing.
No, but it's not over nothing, man. Like this conversation to me was very important. And if you don't see the value in it, that's totally fine. But
no, don't pull that shit right now. That's so fucking dishonest. Don't pull that shit.
How is it dishonest? You keep saying that this conversation doesn't matter, and it does matter to me, man.
Look, this isn't going anywhere. Okay. This isn't going anywhere. Let's reach a productive fucking end. Okay. I said that I'm gonna.
It's not going anywhere because you're fucking retarded, and you're not willing to take like. It's not even just about taking an L, quote unquote. It's about acknowledging your shortcomings. Like, you'll acknowledge like a detail that you got wrong, right? Or a fact that you forgot to mention, right? Like, you're willing to acknowledge that. But you're not willing to acknowledge like the deeper problem here with why your content is the way that it is and why you end yourself up in these situations, right? A year ago, all you had to face was me, okay? And even then I was a lot smaller than I am now. Now you got to face Papa Gut. Next year, you probably have to face somebody a lot bigger, and somebody who actually maybe you'll have more of a reason to give more of a fuck about, you know. Basically, what's happening here is you're watching Def Noodles' entire fucking persona get just ripped apart in front of him, and he's not willing to accept like core problems with the structure and the way that he does his show, in the way that he conducts himself online, in the way that he uses comedy. He bastardizes comedy as a fucking excuse for every fucking thing he gets wrong. I mean, you're just watching a fucking entire like fucking character assassination in front of his eyes. And he's just not willing to accept that or even deal with that or acknowledge that that's even happening, right?
Maybe he's just dumb. Maybe he just genuinely doesn't understand that his issue is the delivery. Even though Papa Gut has like explained that clearly like multiple times, maybe he just doesn't understand. Maybe he's just dumb. Maybe he's just stupid.
Maybe he's just mad.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of my next video, Okay,
I would appreciate it if you only I would appreciate it if you would only address the.
I apologize for the language I used. What else do you fucking want me to do? What else is a reasonable conclusion? What else? Because right now we're talking around in circles, and now you're trying to bring this whole thing and make it seem like I'm discrediting the whole conversation. No, I was talking about the point that we reached in this conversation. We were both yelling at each other.
Okay.
Like this is so fucking. You know, I don't know how often you bring people on your show, but if this is how you treat people when they come on your fucking show,
how do you feel? Well, that's the thing. I'm not. I have. So can I talk about it really quick? I have like really productive conversations usually. Specifically, I have a content creator named Mr. Beard, who's an incredibly intelligent young man.
Yeah.
Like we had a great conversation. We disagree on a lot. Listen, man, can I just like, because listen, I honestly, after this conversation, I think that you're like a good guy. Like I'm being genuine. I'm not trying to be like a fucking asshole. We got into a crazy conversation. It looks like you don't think I'm a great guy, and I understand that. Okay.
How do you know that? Why the fuck are you putting words in my mouth?
Okay.
Why the fuck?
Okay. I'm sorry. It was the face you made. I will retract that.
Here's the thing. You keep jumping to conclusions, and that's what pisses me off.
Okay.
You do realize, like, I don't know, like how you treat people. Like, if you get pissed off at a person and you immediately start treating them like shit or like cutting them off or whatever, like, I have a way of reacting to shit.
Well, maybe I wasn't really calling you off. You've been talking the majority of this thing.
Way to react. Maybe I don't react the best way that it is, but I'm still open to hearing shit and talking about it. Okay. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm rough around the fucking edges. It is what it is. This is who I am. I'm being authentic. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, I need to fucking know. I just need to know what the conclusion is. I don't need you to go around in fucking circles and do all this shit. I need you to know. Give you like an ending there. I was trying to give you an ending point. Listen, I believe that you came on here in like the most genuine way possible. You literally said the most backhanded shit. I don't believe you're that guy.
Oh my god, dude! He's trying to de-escalate this and trying to come to some sort of conclusion, and Def is just shitting himself right now. Like he's literally just losing it. Fuck you, man. Fuck you off, you piece of shit. Is this how you treat people? Dude, calm down. I'm trying.
You know that I dislike it. Maybe because of the way you're talking. Like, I genuinely think Def Noodles is autistic. There's just no way. Either that or he's like completely disingenuous. I don't know. Like, you can't. There's no way he's genuinely making these mistakes. Like, why do you think I'm mad at you? Because you're acting mad at him. That's social 101. Like, go back to fucking kindergarten. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Try to lost your logic, but I don't think that you're doing it to be disingenuous.
Man. God dang.
That's all I'm saying.
It's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fine. I mean, I never said that I was fucking perfect.
No, I'm not trying to. Listen, man, I'm not really trying to say that you're perfect.
I'm less than perfect. Okay. I'm far less than perfect.
And we're both right there. Listen, I'm not any better than you. I've had like a horrible history in some of my shit, which I've acknowledged here. I'm not trying to like shit on you. Even before you were like, I'm sorry for this, and I was like, bro, you don't have to. Like, I feel like you're over apologizing to me, bro, because like we're two grown men having like a conversation. Like it does, like the little things don't matter.
It's a fucking ridiculous fucking conversation. The point that it's fucking devolved into.
Okay.
It's absolutely.
Is he gonna cry?
Fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, you know, I wanted this to be a very productive conversation.
You know, he's talking and looking at. I don't know. It almost looked like that.
Okay.
In the sense that I came here, I took accountability for fucking up and not covering that aspect.
Okay.
I was open to you not liking that I called you an incel. I went back and I changed it.
Again, I didn't care about that part. But okay.
What else do you look, dude? You wouldn't have brought it up if you didn't feel a certain type of way. Sorry, that's just how.
Oh, Def, you don't understand. He's not mad that you called him an incel. He's mad at you priming your audience to present this image of him that isn't true. That's what he's mad at. He's not literally mad at you calling him an incel like a mean word at school. That's not literally what he's upset about. He's upset about what that implies about his character. He's upset that you're giving the impression to your audience that he's some crazy fucking neckbeard incel who shouldn't be taken fucking seriously. That's what he's upset about. It's very easy to see why. He's not literally mad at the insult. Jesus.
I was just talking about how you mischaracterized it. I don't even know if I brought it up. I think you brought it up. Wait, no, I'm pretty sure you brought up that I was an incel and you said that you knew I was married or something. Either way, it really doesn't bother me.
No. You asked me about the title of the video first, and you were trying to frame it as though I was dishonestly trying to, yes. And then I explained to you the reason why, yes, it is. Just go back and watch it. The same way I didn't remember the goalpost thing, you're now misremembering this, okay? Anyway.
Enough, I guess. Either way, I wasn't upset about it. I was just like bringing it up I guess I brought it up as a point to just say like, hey, you did inaccurately represent the situation. Either way, we're just going in a circle, okay? All I'm trying to say is that, like, listen, I disagree with things that you did and you disagree with things that all I'm trying to say, man, is that, like, I think that you came on genuinely, and I don't think that you're a bad guy just because we have a disagreement. That's all I'm trying to say, man. I'm not trying to, this was never the intention was to have this fucking whole ass, like, yelling match.
Yeah, the fact that it was a yelling match that devolved into that is what is absolutely ridiculous about the situation.
Sure, I agree.
That was my... Okay, I wanted to have a productive conversation. That's part of the reason why I wrote it in my community post. How is this going to be productive? Okay. You explain to me, how is this productive?
I think that hopefully people understand like the core of the issue that I had, and hopefully I communicate to you my issue.
As a creator, like, how is this productive? Don't shove this off to your audience.
What?
Tell me how.
Wait, hold on. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that we're making a video for our audience, so like I think that hopefully.
That's fine.
Notice how aggressive he still is. Obviously now it's pretty clear that Papa Gut is trying to de-escalate. He's trying to bring it back a little bit and just be like, look, dude, I'm not here to fucking clip you like crying on my fucking stream. I'm not here to like, you know, capture you in like a super vulnerable moment on purpose, right? Like, it's pretty clear that he's, you know, trying to establish like not good faith, but just like good intent, basically, right? And Def is still just fuming. He's having a fucking panic. He's having like a childish meltdown.
And I feel that exposes him more than anything, because when you act reasonable and then the other person isn't being reasonable back, that says a lot about their character and how they conduct themselves.
Yeah.
So I think Papa Gut's doing a great job in this.
It's not like Papa Gut, like, because if this were me, I'd just be screaming at him more to try to fuck him. Try to fuck with him or something, right? Papa Gut's not trying to do that. You know, he could, but he's not, because he wants to carry the conversation in a different way.
So the only thing that was productive about this was the fact you got a video from it.
No, that's not what I said. I literally said that hopefully people understand like my interpretation and your interpretation of the situation, understand like what I had an issue with, which was like specifically like, you know, the intentionally maturing, the aspect in the beginning, like of the trying to deplatform Pillock. That's why hopefully people understand that. That was what I was hoping to get out of this video.
Dude.
What?
I feel like I just wasted 90 minutes.
Why is that a bad answer though?
I honestly, this is like
what a child. Honestly though.
Anyway, I really
just want to close this off. From my end, I can't imagine a Def Noodles fan watching through this video and coming out thinking more positively of Def or Equal. Because,
you know what the worst part was? He uploaded this entire debate to his channel. I might actually go through and read the
Def
comments.
Noodles did?
Yeah.
Which channel?
Def Noodles, his main channel.
The main?
Yeah.
The entire thing uncut?
Yes. I mean, it's like 2 hours long, so I'm assuming that it's uncut, considering he also uploaded my debate,
Holy
although
shit.
on his side channel it was uncut. But yeah, I'm assuming he didn't edit it dishonestly or something like that. But yeah, he did upload this to his main channel.
Edwin in chat says all the comments are against Def on his channel. Wow.
Ooh. That's a hit.
Wow. Well, I mean, at least he's not trying to hide this, I guess.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, I will genuinely commend him for that. You know, I will genuinely commend. It takes a lot of balls. It takes a lot of balls to up. Maybe he didn't think he looked as bad as he did, but regardless, it takes a lot of balls to upload.
No, I think that's worthy of you know, some amount of credit here. Look,
yeah. 100%.
I am an asshole. Okay, I'm a prick, but I'll always be fair. Okay, even to people that don't deserve it.
Def Noodles in his apology did say that.
Hold on! Don't spoil it! Don't spoil it! I want to watch it for myself.
I know. I'm just saying how it relates to this. He only uploaded the video because he reasoned that Papa Gun was also going to upload the video. So, you know.
Right. I mean, Papa Gun's got an infinitely smaller channel than his.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's commendable to upload, even under those presenses. I think it's commendable to upload that. Maybe you disagree, Smaggle, but that's just my opinion.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
That being said, I'm going to the channel to add to the dislike count. Hell yeah.
Based.
1.3k dislikes, 6k likes. All right, let's finish this up because I gotta go to Starless
panel. You know, I'm what can I say? I'm not a perfect person. I'm an emotional person, and at the end of the day, I will go back and correct the aspect that I didn't cover in my video at the beginning of my next video.
Cool. I appreciate that. That would be the productivity of this conversation then.
Yeah, well, I said that at the beginning of the fucking video. So
okay. Well, anyway, that was part of the conversation. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Papa got pointing out, you know, the productivity argument, right? And he's like, yeah, but I said at the fucking beginning.
Said it the first 5 minutes of the video.
Still part of the conversation.
You know, I changed that. That's fine.
Okay.
And look, I really hoped that this could be a productive conversation, especially considering how many videos you've made about this so far.
Yeah.
I would expect that there would be more that you could bring to the table. Honestly, I'm kind of
come on. Wow. You're just making shots at me at the end here.
Dude, I'm just sharing my perspective. I can share why I'm disappointed about something.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I do feel disappointed. I feel like I just wasted an hour and a half of my life, and we got no product. Like we ended up exactly where we started. I already
not really. I mean, you got exposed for your biggest insecurities. It makes sense why you're fucking crying. Yeah, you kind of got skinned alive. I mean, if I'm just being honest with you.
On doing that, on having the beginning of the video that I just said it.
How come you wanted to come on and have a chat then?
What was a chat? This ended up devolving.
No, but you asked to do this.
Because you
yeah.
Get the facts right.
Okay.
You literally DM'd me. You DM'd me asking to do this.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't you DM me first?
Sure. So I'm just gonna pull our chat up on the screen. So I DM'd you and I said I saw your video because the problem is that like when you responded.
No, get the facts right.
So the fact here, but the fact here is I said yeah, sure. Wait, you said let's have the chat. And I said yeah. Do you want to do private or public? Let me know.
That's fine. Show the DMs. Do whatever you want.
I'm doing it right now.
Show the DMs. Dude, show the DMs. Do whatever you want. Okay.
We could have done this in private. I literally said we could do this in private. I was totally fine with that.
Let me get a word in.
Sorry, I've only been talking 30% of the time.
God damn. Yeah, sure. Public or private call. Let me know. Def Noodles, fire up your stream. I can step away for like 20 minutes, then I have to go back to work. Discord, can do Zoom. He starts off, hey, hope you're well. Do you have some time to talk about this? Let me know. I'm in the middle of a shoot right now. Wow. So he just got exposed instantly.
Whatever. Okay? Let me get a fucking word in. Facts. Fact. You DM'd me first. Yeah. You blasted it all over your social media.
Yeah.
You blasted it.
Because I was afraid that you were going to misinterpret it because you're a very bad faith individual.
Let me fucking finish. You DM'd me first. Sure. You blasted it all over your fucking Twitter. You put it on your community tab. Yeah. Okay? I've been getting comments about it to the point where I was like, okay, I thought about it for a day and I was like, what can actually come out of this situation? And I thought, as far as the sexual harassment, we're on the same side. So what's that conversation be like? We're going to agree. We're going to move past that. As far as the mischaracterization of Killick, we're on the same side. Okay, cool. I just haven't said it publicly yet, but we're on the same side. We're going to agree on that and move on. So what else is there to talk about?
All I had asked.
Let me finish. Okay, what else is there to talk about in that situation? So that's why I arrived at the conclusion that I was like, you know what? I don't really think it's worth going back and having this discussion because I don't think there's anything really productive.
So then why did you have it? Because I said we could do it privately.
That's why I wrote my community post. Okay. That's why I wrote my community post responding to your invitation, which you blasted all over your social media platforms, which let's be honest, the reason why you did it was because you wanted to pressure your audience.
Why do you, wait, but you don't know that. Like you keep saying like you don't know because you're like, that's not the reason I did it. Like, but you're making this assertion. It's incorrect. Man.
You wouldn't blast it on social media unless you wanted to pressure me.
Do you want to know why I did it?
No, let me finish.
No, you don't know. Okay, sure.
I responded on my community tab. And what did you do? You made another video. So that's 3 videos that you made about this situation. I made 1 video.
I think it's 4.
You made 4 videos. What, including this one? You're including this one? Then I guess it's 4.
I did one on the first and second video, and then your video, and then like maybe 4, 5, maybe 6. I don't know. They made a good amount of them on there. Yeah, that's the kind of content I make. I make a lot of content.
Okay, so I made 1 video about the situation. Then I made a response on my community tab about this situation specifically. All right. So as far as the part involving this debate, okay, you made, like I said, you made that initial DM. You shared it on social. I've been invited to debate people numerous times.
Okay.
You know how many times people actually blast it all over the social media?
So can I explain why I did it?
No. I asked you a question. You know how many times have people blasted their invitation for me to debate them on social media?
I have no idea. How many?
Never. You were the first person to do it. Okay. And you know what was the direct result of that? Was I got hundreds of people coming and harassing me.
Wait, that's not true. I'm pretty sure I blasted them on my fucking Twitter account. Fuck you. I totally abused you.
Saying, hey, you got to debate him. And I was like, I considered it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do it. I thought about it.
Okay.
I watched your response and I was like, there's nothing that can be added to this conversation. Okay. And then, hold on. And then I posted my post and you went back. You went back and you made an entire video responding to it.
Yes.
Just about the situation, you made 3 videos, a situation involving me. You made more videos about me in the situation than the situation with the B family itself, because you made 2 videos about the B family. Now you made 3 videos about me.
Yeah, it's all relevant to the B family situation.
Your initial response to my coverage, your second response, and then you made a video response to my community.
What's your point?
My point is that
I make more content than you. I make more content than you. That's it. That's what I usually do. I make a lot of content.
Look, dude.
I don't know.
I'm trying to understand, how is this supposed to be productive?
Okay. I know you keep saying that. And then so first and foremost, the reason that I posted the response is because I thought that you mischaracterized my argument so badly that I thought that you would manipulate what I said. Because like, why? Because you didn't bring up my point. Because in your response video, you didn't bring up my point.
No, take a step back, because you just justified doing something publicly by jumping to a conclusion of what you thought I was going to do.
Because you were being very bad. You've been very bad faith. You didn't even represent my point in your response video to me.
Show me an example of a DM that I purposely shared to take out of context and make the last.
Listen, all I have to do is say, hey, you misrepresented my point. Oh, you misrepresented my point. And I felt like you were going to do it again. So that's why I released the DMs.
Dude.
You seem like a bad faith guy, bro. I'm sorry. But again, a really good question. Why didn't you just do this in private then, man? Why didn't we just have a private conversation about it? I said we could do this in public or private. Your call.
What's even the gain? I mean, I honestly, I don't trust I don't trust you. You think I'm bad faith? I think you're bad faith.
Yeah,
I don't fucking.
Okay, that's fair.
Dude, he's literally Ethan Ralph. He's like, well, fuck you, or if it's fuck me, it's fuck you too. Like, he's just a complete child. He's like, why would you assume that I'm in bad faith? I don't know, maybe because you did a video call me a fucking incel woman-hating freak just because I disagreed with your fucking argument. Or just because I disagreed with the very obvious fucking character assassination that fucking shitbag family did to that kid that just made some fucking fucked up jokes. Maybe that's why. I don't know, asshole. Or maybe because you have a fucking history of just being awful to pretty much everybody you have a fucking disagreement with. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Why would I possibly think you're in bad faith? Well, Def Noodle should be like, if you think I'm in such bad faith, then let me prove my good faith to you through this conversation. Although obviously it's too late for that because the conversation was a shit show, right? But like if he was normal, if he was reasonable, like if you're talking to somebody, right, and they assume that you're a dishonest person, right, then you prove them wrong through a history of conversation with them or just through interaction with them. It's like, okay, well, you think I'm terrible. You think I'm out to get you or something. Let me just establish that by simply interacting with you, right? I don't know. That's how I would respond if I was him. But I couldn't at this point because the debate already became a shit show.
King yourself.
I've been carrying myself. I think I've been carrying myself pretty well. I think.
Huh?
I've been carrying myself pretty well.
No, I don't trust you. Sorry, I don't. You realize I talk every single day. I talk to all different types of creators from all different levels.
Cool.
I talk to people who are people who are massive creators, people who are smaller creators. I've never had an experience like this in my entire life.
Well,
never.
Then it's a good thing that somebody called you on your shit, I guess.
No, it's not about calling me on my shit.
Yeah, it was.
What about it is calling me out on my shit? I literally just at the beginning I called myself out on my shit and I said.
Yeah, I think that was like a preemptive tactic to make yourself seem virtuous, and this way, when you move on, you get to be like, oh, I did this, and I did this, and then every single time I make a point, you go back to the original thing.
You are shifting the goalpost.
That's not shifting the goalpost. That's not even what that word means.
Because you're moving the conversation onto another thing.
That's not what shifting the goalpost means.
That is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not what it is. You're doing something. You're changing.
That'd be like pivoting, but I'm not pivoting.
I'm starting to think that actually, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It's extremely dishonest. Honestly, I have a hard time trusting you. That's why I didn't want to come at first. You blasted it out. Like honestly, that's fine that you blasted it out. That's how you do your business. Okay.
Not usually. You're the first person that I've ever done that to, I think.
Why did you feel like you do that to?
Well,
no. Actually, no. You've done it to people on TikTok because I've seen numerous people. There are numerous TikToks that people have sent me of you doing that to people on TikTok.
Oh, who?
So
can I see the TikToks? Can you send me the TikToks? Can you send them to me so I know what you're talking about?
Right now. Right. I have one right here. Okay. So this person, Clay Real Searle said the Chronicles of Enabling the Contributing. Chapter 2, Papa Gut. If a right-wing centrist ever existed, it would be him. Makes fun of trans people, then claims it's a joke after getting heat.
These are all things that I've said that I was shitty for, by the way.
He says, and then he quotes you. He says, join my Twitch if code is code for let me debate the value of your life on my platform for clout. Constantly in black people's businesses. This is it. You look it up. Right there.
Okay, but like, what does that have to do with showing people's DMs?
I just gave it to you. Okay.
What is it? But that's not a DM. That's not anybody showing DMs. What are you talking about?
That's it. That's the exact same. That's the exact same tactic of you blasting out, debate me on my platform.
Bro, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I just don't. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I think that bro, that's nothing. You literally said I do this all the time with DMs.
We're never going to arrive at an agreement. At the end of the day, we can go on fucking hours. And this isn't. At the end of the day, nothing good is going to come out of this. Nothing good.
I don't think it's gonna, man, because I don't think that you were ever open to a real conversation.
Oh.
I came here. I wasn't. How can you say that when I literally went back?
Because you haven't listened to like anything I've been saying. You have. So if you notice the only things that you've done are things that you said you were already going to do.
That's honest you are. I literally went back in real time and edited the title of my video to remove the word insult.
I didn't care.
I literally went back and got your points from your response, and I said, hey, you know what? I'll go back and retracted everything at the beginning of my video. I literally went back. How can you say that?
Dude, he's literally right, though. It is a defense mechanism. Him conceding to a couple things at the start of the debate, he was doing that to try to prove that he's not a piece of shit. He's like, well, look, I did this. See, I'm not bad. But then everything else is an argument with this guy.
How can you say that?
Because every single thing that you said today, you said that you were already going to do before having the conversation. I don't think you've actually listened to the thing I said, man. It's unfortunate, man, because I think you're a good guy.
What did you say? What did I miss?
I don't.
Especially when you consider the fact that I said that you complained about the incel thing and went back and I fixed it.
I didn't complain about that. You complained about it. Like, you kept bringing it up. It was so weird. I've been very uncomfortable talking about it.
Go back on the video. You'll see. Don't try to put that on me, dude. Just tell me what.
What's that? What I mean when I feel like you're not listening, because I've been I'm engaging in like a conversation. Because right. So every single time I try to bring up something where like you don't have the same like moral standard for things or same logical framework, you just go like, oh, comedy's subjective. But I was talking about Killick made a joke, you made a joke. And you don't see how but you mischaracterize this as a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like,
being extremely dishonest with your interpretation of, and even saying, I said, since you're saying this, then I explained this. And I said your jokes, and I said, and you like explained whatever. Look, at the end of the day, you don't seem to be wanting to have a good faith conversation.
I do. I do seem to be. I do actually want to.
Dude, this conversation is basically devolved into them screaming bad faith, good faith at each other. And I noticed, to be fair, this is happening a lot, especially recently. Is everybody's just been debating whether or not somebody is in good faith or in bad faith or something like that. It's getting really cancerous. I mean, I played into a lot of that too. Although I do think generally the people that I accuse of having bad faith, well, Duke, I try to, substantiate that with something, right? I feel like people nowadays just spam, well, you're in bad faith, therefore I don't have to respond to anything you say because you're bad and bad faith. I won. I feel like that's what's happening to a lot of online conversations, and it is cancerous. There's no arguing that.
You don't. You got what you wanted.
Do you think that you asserting a thing is going to make people believe you?
Listen. Because even though there were people who were telling me to do this, the vast majority of my audience were like, "Don't give this guy a platform."
So why did you? Why didn't you just do this in private? Like I said we could do this in private. I had no intention of making this video.
How am I supposed to trust someone who got private DMs and immediately blasted them out?
Well, I didn't. But I didn't blast. Like I showed my DM.
Have this in public. Then have someone have footage and then put out whatever parts they want. This is it. People are getting it on live stream. This is unfiltered, uncut. This is it. So I'd much rather it be like this than you cherry pick the shit that you want to put out.
When do I ever do that? When have I ever? But that's what you do.
Blasted it out. You got it.
No. You said that if we did a private conversation, I would cherry pick information and put it out there. But that's your whole platform. My platform is watching everything. But your opinion is unfounded because I never do that ever. There's no basis for your opinion.
The fact that you picked up my DM immediately.
I don't share.
Ralph was in bad faith. Ralph's retarded and drunk. He's in drunk faith.
Pick information. I literally every single video I do, I never cut things out of context. There are times where I'm wrong and people are like, you are literally wrong. And that's good because I show the whole video. I do it intentionally in case I fuck up. So like you don't have like what you're saying is unfounded. It's fine to want to do it publicly. I'm just saying like we could have done it in private. Would have been fine. Like I would have been totally fine. I didn't really care if we had a conversation.
And you know what? That's fine. Perhaps the way you reacted, I was like, this guy's kind of a piece of shit. Maybe I shouldn't trust him. Maybe I was wrong.
What made you think I was a piece of shit? Like which reaction made you think I was a piece of shit?
The DM. You were like, I'm telling you right now. It's extremely dishonest. As a creator, that's a faux pas. You don't just put out DMs immediately, especially after you invite someone. You're going to tell me that your sole purpose was not to pressure me to go on and do this.
No, here's the thing. If it was, I would just say like, yeah, I wouldn't care. But it wasn't. I genuinely I genuinely like the way that you present information is incredibly disingenuous. And I was like, I'm going to put this up there in case he cherry picks what I'm saying. Put it out there.
This conversation isn't getting anywhere.
Okay, so you said you were busy an hour ago. It seems like you're not as busy as you want to seem like. That's something that Keemstar does a lot. He says he's so busy, and you're doing that right now, but you clearly have nothing going on, bro. Why don't you just get that?
This conversation isn't getting anywhere. This conversation isn't getting anywhere.
So just you've been saying that for an hour. Why are you still here if you have so many other things to do?
I have to go because I get trapped in shit. This is just
who's trapping you? Who's trapping you? I've been trying to say multiple times like, listen, man, I think you're a decent guy. I'm trying to end it, and then you keep bringing it back to a conversation.
Let's fucking end it.
Okay.
Let's fucking end it.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming on. And
right, when he says ended, he doesn't mean the stream. He's going aggro mode, dude. He's going full.
God.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. That's a joke, Def Noodles. I know I have to clarify it. You have to clarify when you say a joke or not, because Def Noodles is used to giving jokes that aren't obvious. But yeah, that was a joke.
If you're ever in the New York area, let me know, and I'll take you out to a beer or something, man. Hopefully,
fine.
After this conversation, we can both absorb, and we'll realize we're not two bad people. That's it.
The way you just framed me to your audience, I find it hard to believe.
But do you see how you're bringing it back to the conversation after I tried to end things like in a really cordial way?
God.
You can't just say something fucked up.
I said that I think you're a good guy, and then I want to take you out for a beer.
No, you didn't. You said, and maybe I'll find out that you're not a bad person or something like that.
No, wait. Let me just correct that. I was just saying that hopefully the both of us, let me just be clear about it. We'll get off this conversation and we'll both realize the other isn't a bad person. That's what I was trying to say. That was it.
That's fine. At the end of the day, like I said, this conversation didn't.
At the end of the day, fuck you.
And I hope the audience enjoyed the show because this is why people watch it, so they can watch people do this kind of shit. And
that's not usually why people watch my content, so I'm a little disappointed in the way that it went. But yeah, okay.
Just be fucking honest for once. That this is why
I'm honest pretty often, man. I don't know what to tell you.
People love a fucking shit show. Okay,
people do love a shit show. That's why they like your content. But like people don't really gravitate towards my content for that because I don't usually do that.
People fucking watching it to know that people fucking love to watching a shit show.
Yeah, man. Okay? They love it like a very divisive situation.
As you're reading these comments. So I know exactly what's going on. I don't even have it open. I'm not fucking stupid. I know.
Dude, this guy is so schizo. Holy fuck. Holy fuck.
Supreme funded $5. Shout out to YouTube for not sending me a notification for the stream. Love ya, Augie.
Well, at least you tuned in. At least you found out the stream eventually.
I know exactly what's going on. At the end of the day, I appreciate you took the time to talk to me. I'm just kind of disappointed that this really didn't end up being something that could have been more productive. Like I said in my original community post, it wasn't going to be that productive.
Okay.
And
all right, I appreciate you coming on, man. Take care.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Holy moly. Let me just end this. Get my face on the screen.
All right. So that was their conversation. Let's take a look at
the little response or whatever.
The response.
Seems like the first 6 minutes of this video is him talking. I can link it to you if you need it.
Wait, are you talking about Def Noodles' response?
Of course. Yep. What else would I be talking about?
Yeah, it's after the tech interview.
Why is this dude playing a fucking video game?
No,
yeah, it's
wait, it isn't in the video where he has the debate with him?
No, it's I quit, but I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was okay.
Well, wait. Now you guys are giving me conflicting answers. Is it at the beginning or the end?
It's after the tech interview.
Yeah, that's what I said before.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to Smaggle. I don't know what I'm talking about. Listen to what Smaggle's saying.
Why is this dude playing a fucking video game during a drama stream? Because I'm fucking based and I can multitask. And honestly, I need games to talk. When I play a game, it fucking activates my brain and I can actually think about things. That's why I stopped doing after hours. All right. This video is not loading or does not want to load.
Folks, I just wanted to remind all of you that the podcast is...
Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're able to get that debate. I hope you're able to, get some resolution on this. And thank you. Anyway, folks, I wanted to take a moment right now and address the video that came before this one because I think it needs some addressing. So I fucked up. I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this. I'm not going to deflect. I'm not going to say that it was anything but what it was definitely not my brightest moment. A lot of you have been asking, why did I choose to upload that? Well, I figured he was going to upload it anyway, so I might as well upload it. Also, I mean, I think it'd be worse if I tried to hide that happened. It happened. I mean, I made a deliberate choice to act like I did in that moment, and it was informed by me just feeling like I was going into a hostile environment. Now, did I overshoot literally everything I did in that moment? Yes, I fucked up. I should have taken the time to just, wait and listen and be more patient and hear his side out. But like I said, I was in that mindset that I was like in this really aggressive, hostile environment because of everything that happened leading up to it. And I just wasn't as open as I should have been in that conversation. And as I typically am in most conversations, as you've seen, and not only from my podcast, I mean, I have 4 podcast episodes now for anybody who's been listening. Like, I don't act like that in my podcast. I've done, I think 3 or 4 interviews too before this one. I didn't act like that in those interviews. So I genuinely thought it was going to be something that was...
To be fair, although my memory is a little bit foggy, I don't remember him spurging as hard as he did in my debate. I don't think that happened. I could be wrong, because I don't really remember that conversation too well. But yeah, he was definitely a lot more... If he did spurg in my conversation, he was a lot more unhinged in this one, by far.
He was aggressive and confrontational, and while there were aspects of confrontation, I do think that I happened to be instigating a lot of it and happened to be on the side of just not helping the conversation really be as conducive as it could have been, as conducive to... I don't know. I don't think I really helped anything, really. And yeah, as I said in the video itself, in the debate itself, I'm an idiot for that. I fucked up, and I wish I could take it back. I wish I could go back to the moments before all that happened, and I wish I could just calm myself down and think, hey, how about we just go in here and just try to have a positive conversation, and regardless of the direction that it goes, just try to hear him out and try to understand what he's saying. And even though I actually do agree, I mean, we pointed out in that debate that we do agree on several points, I do think that I didn't help it out. So I want to apologize for everyone who had to see that. I want to apologize to Papa Gut for treating him that way. The name calling as well. I want to apologize for that as well. And I appreciate all the feedback that I've been getting. I'm going to implement it in my future conversations if I'm ever in a situation where I feel like I'm stepping into a hostile environment like that.
All right, there's 2 ways to interpret this. He's being honest and admitting that, look, I freaked out. It's not cool. Or he saw the comments section and he was like, I need to fucking spit something to my audience.
It could be a mixture of both. Maybe he saw
True.
the comment section, it caused him to reevaluate, and this is his genuine
that's possible, yeah.
result of that. And that's what I think it is. I think this sounds genuine. I think this apology's good so far. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it is totally possible to freak out and realize, like, okay, I need to reel it back a bit here. You know? It's
I hope he also... Yeah.
It's just also coming from Def Noodles, so like I'm naturally going to like fucking call bullshit on it. But at the same time, I don't want to just instantly assume everything he possibly does is bad. Because how can he possibly like... At that point, there's nothing he can do that will ever like appease me, quote unquote, right? And I'm not really here to be appeased. I'm just here to like, look, if he acknowledges what he did was fucking nuts, fair enough, you know?
Yeah. No. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this apology and say it's like genuine and he's going to try and improve. But I mean,
yeah, we'll just see. Guy, Bo
we'll see in the next couple months or weeks if he does improve. I mean, if he continues to blur the line between allegation and joke when the allegation's serious and continues to treat people the same way he's
now, is he going to apologize
me,
to Keemstar for publishing stories calling him like a pedophile or something, you know? Or is he gonna apologize to fuck even James Charles? I mean, he did publish a false story about James Charles. Whether or not you like James Charles or not, I mean, he did genuinely do that. Or the other people that he's lied about, like he's going to give apologies to them, or is he gonna wait until he gets called out and a majority of his audience agrees with the callouts?
I mean, at this point, he's fucked up so much that if he were to apologize for everything, that would be like an hour-long video. So I don't expect him to go back and retroactively apologize for everything. But if he does genuinely change his behavior going forward, I would say that that's good. I'm doubtful of that, but I'm willing to give him, you know, the room to improve before I become critical of him in that way again, I guess.
Isn't Def Noodles supposed to be like dead or something?
What? The character?
Like, yeah,
isn't the character?
Well, yeah, this is him. This is Dennis.
Playing. Yeah, he's just being himself now.
Here's my approach to Def Noodles, all right? I'm going to continue considering him a piece of shit until he doesn't be one
Until
anymore.
he proves himself with his behavior, yeah.
And
like,
my speculation as to what will happen is that he'll continue being a piece of shit.
Yeah, and that's my speculation too.
Until Augie goes to a comedy show.
However, I will acknowledge that there is a slight possibility that he's being genuine here.
Yeah, and this is a step in the right direction. This addressing of the situation, whether it's more to do with appeasing his audience rather than actually being genuine or not, obviously we can't say for sure. I think it's more genuine, but that's just my interpretation based on how he's talking. I'm willing to, you know, this is a step in the right direction, and I'm willing to look at him in a more positive light if he continues to improve his behavior, but, you know, I'm not hopeful at the same time, so...
I will definitely make sure to take a step back, calm myself, and just hear the other person out, regardless of what emotions I'm feeling or whether or not I feel like this is something that is just aggressive or that I feel like isn't conducive to a good conversation. Yeah, like I said, I like having productive dialogues, and I don't think I really contributed to a productive dialogue in that conversation. So yeah, I know a lot of you are upset with me, and that is totally understandable. Whether or not you choose to accept this apology, I absolutely understand it. And as well as Papa Gut, whether or not you choose to accept it, I understand that as well. And yeah, that is it. I wish I could take it back. I really can't. So that is that. You know, when you live here, you end up making your mistakes publicly. So I fucked up, and I appreciate all of you for holding me accountable. I saw a comment that said that basically, like, it was one of the more like even keel like comments that, because there have been comments that like went to either or like, oh no, Dennis, you were like 100% correct in reacting like this, and then there were comments that were like, no, you just totally fucked everything up. You suck. I'm out. You know. And I understand both perspectives, but there was one that was like right in the middle that like pointed out kind of like what I did wrong and some of the things that I did right, and some of the things that were good from the debate and some of the things that were bad. And at the end of that comment, they said something about how they appreciated this community because they read through the comments and they saw that people were like, you know, responding the way that they did. And yeah, I share that sentiment. I definitely appreciate that we have a community that will not only hold the people that I'm covering accountable, but will also take the time to educate me. Because I mean, I'm not perfect, as I said in that debate. I'm far from perfect, and I definitely need improvement. And getting this feedback from all of you will help me in the future. So thank you so much. You guys got to see me basically do or have like a massive L, and that's it. I'm gonna have to live with that. So and move on and hopefully improve. And I thank you for being here and moving on along with me. Yeah, thank you so much. It's like weird to say that, but it really is, because otherwise I wouldn't learn. And I'm of the mindset that unless I'm constantly progressing and improving as a person, then I'm really just moving backwards, right? So this is definitely like a learning experience. So thank you. Oh yeah, and as far as me quitting, that's only for the next 24 hours, meaning there will be another.
Lol, L plus ratio. All right, I gotta get out of here.